Welcome back, Juventinita, to the Juventinita Back to Black and White podcast. I'm Daniel Anigro, and I'm live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And today we are going to be dissecting the post-mortem of Juve-Lyon. Fortunately, we won the game 2-1, but it wasn't enough. The away goal rule screwed us, and the ref screwed us in a sense. But I think all you guys know that as of now. Yes, we've hit the record. Yes, this is Auber. This is the famous podcast that never was. And welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, as always, please smash the subscribe, drop a like. If you listen to the podcast on YouTube, please drop a comment, click the bell for notifications. Podcasts is on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Google Podcasts, and if you hit subscribe or follow on there, they're going to show up in your thread of whatever podcast platform you use, and it'll just keep you up to date, and you'll be able to listen to them whenever they come out. Obviously, today is probably going to be the last one for this season potentially, and so 30 I thought was a pretty good number to end on, and we have a very special guest, very very famous guest. Oh. He's been everywhere so far. He's rocking it on La Panchina. He's also been on Al's podcast numerous amounts of times, and I love his takes. And we go back and forth a couple times. We'll probably go back and forth a few times on here, but he's doing a lot for the community. And again, welcome, Auber. And
thanks, Daniel.
Obviously, London, England, you call home. But just to get, if you don't know who Juventus for Life is, which is his handle on Twitter, kind of give us a general, idea of when you became a Juve fan. You don't have to go into full detail, but just generally when you grew up.
It's I keep saying that. I remember Roman's famous quiz back in the early summer or late spring. I'm a 90s child, so obviously my love of Juve goes back to the 90s, 91, 90s. And really, to be honest with you, it's just Roberto Baggio. He made me fall in love with the club. You fall in you fall in love with the player, but then you fall in love with the club, and that's what happened to me. Obviously, Baggio moved on. I didn't. I stayed with Juventus, and it was a good choice. Otherwise, I would have ended up in Brescia at the end of the day. To me, that was really simple. Baggio was my love affair with Juve. So yeah.
Beautiful. And we'll get straight into it. I know probably last time we got in a little bit more in depth about family and stuff like that, but there's a lot to cover. Obviously, the new season is going to be starting on September 19th. It's going to end May 23rd and then followed by the Euros after that. So it's still going to be busy. We're just under or just over a month away from starting. And so guys, enjoy, get your rest, but be prepared to go back and start this all over again. Just some kind of talk. They had Cannavaro on Tutto Sport, and he was talking about the Scudetto, deservedly won, obviously, and obviously saying that Sarri deserved to win it. He needs time to express his game style, which normally is easier to be applied with semi-unknown players, but he adapted well to Juve and won, which is the most important thing. If he wins a CL, he'll be like Pep and Klopp. Now, obviously, there's kind of a gap from when I did my last podcast up until now. So we're going to kind of go in a timeline of how everything happened. Obviously, when I got the news, and this thread has essentially been growing since yesterday, which was crazy, as you all know. So obviously, this was before any of the news happened. Ray Cannavaro was talking to Tutto Sport. So obviously, we know what happened, the results that happened. But what did you think about the MVP? I got into it with some Ronaldo fans who apparently don't think the MVP is important unless Ronaldo wins it. So give us your thoughts.
I don't understand why people associate MVP to score the most goals. Are we saying that then the striker wins all the goals? What about a goalkeeper? What about a defender? Right. What about a midfielder? I don't. I see MVP as a player that makes that. What does it stand for? Most valuable player? Does he make? He makes a valuable contribution to the team, the change of gameplay. Yes, of course, Ronaldo did play well for us. Of course, he scored a lot of goals for us. But Dybala, after the whole, as you remember, the whole summer debacle last season where he was going off to Spurs and Man United, and thank God he didn't do that, kind of, a strange way, kind of spurred him on to say, you know what? this is what you're going to miss out if you're going to sell me. And this first game he was playing for Juve, he was unbelievable. And so most valuable player. Look, I personally, I mean that's for the Serie A. My most valuable player for Juventus was De Ligt, right? Because for someone to step into Chiellini's shoes immediately, right, a 19-year-old. Yeah. And had a rough start that he had with all the handballs that he had and all the off course he had to get that past him and then to step up. And remember, this is very key, and people remember this. Against the first leg against Lyon, he went off injured with a head injury or shoulder. They scored when he was off the pitch. And then a lot of people, and then he came, and then he's come full circle. And he's only 20. People forget he's 20. The kid's 20. The fact that he's learning Italian and he does post-match interviews in Italian, not all the time, but he does them. He makes an effort, and he makes an effort to blend in with the culture. And to me, that was my most valuable player for Juventus was De Ligt for this season. But the overall with Dybala, look, I'm not going to complain. He's Juventino Dybala. I hope he understands what number 10 means to the club, to the player, to the fans, right? Not like some other, I need to be careful here, not some other guy like Pogba who got the number 10 and just sod off after one season. And people will say, oh yeah, but it's not his fault, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't matter. Dybala understands it. So yeah, listen, I'm not gonna get dragged into fanboy arguments, right? I think Adam Digby mentioned, well, Ciro Immobile scored whatever X amount of goals, you should be it. Well, that's bullshit because it's not the case.
Yeah, no, it's the most valuable meaning the player that you need the most, and
exactly
they like to bring up this, oh well, he's got the most man of the matches, and they like to pull up this website whoscored.com and transfer market. And again, I mean, it's all based off of goals. Like, really, that's who's winning the man of the match at the end of the day. So, I think it's ridiculous. I think it was duly won. Again, you could have thrown Immobile in there. You could have thrown a lot of players in there. I think De Ligt is a good show. Well, exactly.
Or one of the players from Atalanta who've done an absolute storming of a season. Goosen, right back who scored 9 goals, 10 goals for right back. How many assists he's done? I mean,
and then you look at how many penalties were scored, and that's the thing, right? And to me, in my opinion, I know this is going to sound weird, but I almost think the penalty should be, like a half almost, because if you're not winning the penalty, you only did half the work. If Dybala gets taken down in the box and your designated penalty taker is Ronaldo. Then he's virtually going to get that goal, right?
That's a fair comment. It's a fair comment. Yeah, it's a fair comment. Yeah.
It's almost like what stat do they have in football? They have like a half stat where like it can be contributed to 2 people. I know. Okay, then it's going to get convoluted, but I find like you got to really take that into account. It's not like he was winning every penalty that we had this year, and I think he probably maybe won a couple of those penalties. To be honest, a lot of them were handballs and stuff like that. But again, so then going back, obviously we had Giacomo Vrioni, first player to play in the three, if you want to call it, leagues in one season. Serie C with U23, B with Cittadella on loan, and then Serie A with Juve. So hopefully we can see something out of him. Hopefully he's not just a pawn like usual. Rodrigo De Paul was in talks. What did you think of him as a mezzala? 35 to 40 billion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. I keep saying this, right? The midfield, we've got Kulusevski, we've got Artur, I mean, we got Bentancur, don't forget, right? And I know we need to, but we had this kind of pre-podcast chat, a nice pre-podcast chat about this. I generally don't think we need our fullback coverage. We need a number 9, right? And every team, if you look at any successful team, it has a spine. A good goalkeeper, doesn't have to be world class, but a good goalkeeper, good middle in the middle park of defense, middle in the park, and a good striker up front, right? And then you build around that. Now, we have Sandro. He can't play 50 or 40 games in a season. That's just ridiculous. It's just absurd. And I'm you know me, we're a bit two heads about management, but I agree with you on this one, right? Management really got caught short on this one. A bunch of idiots, right? How do you think Sandro would? And look, I've called Sandro out, right? The goal against Udinese, he wasn't tracking back. But to your point, you can't expect him to run the full pitch and run back constantly every game. So I get that, right? And well, listen, I also think about complacency as well, right? If you ever got no one go, hey, listen, I'm the best. Next best thing is sliced bread. You know what I mean? So to me, so he's a guaranteed starter. So to me, there's this guy from Udinese. He's a good player, but I don't think we need him. We've got Bentancur as a I think he's great. Bentancur sitting just in front of the defense. He needs to calm down a bit. He's Latina sangue, needs to calm down a little bit, especially the game against Lyon. He was getting a bit feisty, and you think this guy's going to get a second yellow if he's not careful. He needs to calm that game down. Apart from that, listen, that wasn't a actually, we'll talk about that. But Bentancur tackle was a fantastic tackle in the box.
Oh,
fantastic.
Exactly.
So, to your point, the Udinese guy, he's a great player. He's a good player, but no, we just don't need them. We just don't need it.
And I think what we'll get to in a bit is the fact that the market, I don't think, is going to be as lucrative or as active as we really think it's going to be. Especially with bringing, you look at who they brought in as coach, and we'll get into that in a couple minutes, but that is telling signs of them not wanting to spend a hell of a lot of money. So, let's continue on. Obviously, with the awards, Szczesny won the best goalkeeper. What did you think about that? Deserve it? I have one little tweak about Szczesny. So tell me about this. I've made this comment before, and I think he's been really solid for us. But isn't he lacking that killer? Like, we need that extra save out of him every so often, and he hasn't given us. You look at the PK with Lyon, he's not really a goalkeeper that stops a lot of penalties for us, even though we've had a lot more against us this year than in previous seasons. But it seems like we're always lacking like one save. We need that one extra save from him that we don't get. Like we need 4 saves, and he only gives us the 3. That's what I've noticed.
I think what with Tekke's game, right? He's a great shot stopper. Let's not forget. I mean, some of those saves he's done. I mean, some of the last saves he's done I think it was in Serie A. It was against Sampdoria where he saved like towards the end of the game, like that top corner was going in. Yeah, Lazio as well. So that was Lazio. Sorry, Lazio. Yeah. My point being, he's a great shot, but what I find what he's lacking, which was a problem at Roma, which was a problem at Arsenal, the fact he hasn't have his presence in the pitch, right? His presence in the box. When the corner comes in or a free kick, he doesn't have that presence. You need to own it, and he doesn't do it. And now, when the stadium's dead, there's no one in there. You need to hear him. I don't hear enough of him owning the situation. That goal, the thing with Bonucci and Teka, when they had that confusion and there was a goal, I can't even remember. I mean, how many clown mistakes happened
against Milan?
Yes, exactly. Teka should have had that presence. Call the ball, and that's my thing, right?
No. That was the penalty. The PK Lazio got.
Yeah, so that's ridiculous. It's his presence I find him. But listen, he's still for goalkeeping terms, he's still young for goalkeeping terms.
Right.
And listen, 15 million euros, huh? 15 million euros. I mean, Chelsea spent 80 or whatever, well, not maybe 80, but they spent a lot of money for their keeper, and he looks like he's going. So.
Yeah, no, it's exactly. And I noticed even in this game that we're going to talk about, he was a little bit indecisive in a couple moments, and you're kind of like, you do miss that presence. And again, I've said this multiple times, you're not going to get Buffon back. Like, that's a different animal. That's a once in a lifetime almost.
Well, you got another one in the making at Milan, Donnarumma.
You do, but I don't know if he'll still get up to that level. I mean, Donnarumma is good, but there's lots of time to see the verdict.
She's young.
That's
200 appearances ready for Milan or something stupid, or no, maybe less. But he's still got a lot of appearances. He's only 21 or 22, whatever he is.
True. So we'll wait and see what happens. Maybe that's a guy we look at because Milan's gonna have to figure out what the fuck they're gonna want to do with their team, right? Elliott Fund, if they're gonna sell it or not, but that's for another day. I think the rest of the awards are pretty straightforward. De Vrij for Inter won the best defender. Papu Gomez midfielder. I kind of felt like they gave him that because he's kind of more of an attacking player, but that's where he was linked into. I mean, it was well deserved.
Yeah, of course.
And Immobile won the best striker. And then Kulusevski, obviously the best youngster. We've talked about that before, and I'm really looking forward to the kid. And I think he's got to be right wing. I think he's got to take. I think you just give him that spot. You kind of switch it up with him in Cuadrado, and you play it the way we have been so far. I don't see him.
Can sit on the bench now.
He can
sit on the bench. enjoy your samba dancing on the bench. And I've always said this, and I'll defend to what I say, because people think he's God's gift to football. He's a good player, but I call him as a utility player. He's like Sturaro, Padoin, Pasotto. You can play him as a right wing, you can play him as a right back. Clearly, right back is a bit going, but that's not his fault. But he can still play those two positions. Quadrado next season, I pray to God, Pirlo will put him on the bench, keep him fresh, and let Kulusevski run at defense. And when he runs out of gas, put him on.
Yeah, so I hope I agree with you. I think at right back he's defensive liability, and that's just it.
And you've been very kind there.
Well, I've said it how many times, and everyone's been like rubbing him the right way for how many weeks now? For the past like 6 weeks, saying he's done this phenomenal job. And I mean, he's done a good job. But I mean, if this is my whole thing with games is sit down and actually watch the game, watch the movement. Watch where he goes and not because
watch where he passes.
Well, exactly. But don't just look at what he does in the offensive end, and then once he comes back, you the blinders go on, and you don't see anything that he fucks up, because there could have been plenty of times where goals could have gone in. That luckily we've had either Tech at the back or De Ligt or Bonucci or someone else, because there's lots of times where the wingers got around him easy, and. So we could be witnessing a different part of history if that gets put together. Now, you could say what if, but at the end of the day, those were real chances. And then again with Dybala being, he was on his own personal training, which then they keep talking about this contract renewal that never ends. It's like the story that never ends, my friend.
Breaking news.
It's breaking news, and
today he's crossed the T's. Tomorrow will be the dots in the I's.
Exactly. So. It was unfortunate that we didn't get to see him, what happened, obviously, during the game.
Yeah.
That we'll kind of get into, because I know Al's been pretty vocal about what he thought about him being on the pitch, if what the team knew or not. But then again, France football, are they just trying to stir up shit with thinking that Ronaldo's going to go? What are your thoughts?
No, listen. I don't know. Is this family PG tips?
Man, let it rip.
Listen, it's a whole lot of bullshit, to be honest. Just to generate some bullshit stories, right? I read today Jorge Mendes is meeting with the PSG guys in Lisbon for the final. I think this is all horseshit, right? Listen, Sarri is gone, right? Clearly there wasn't something. We'll touch on about Sarri because that's huge, right? But clearly something wasn't happening there, right? Already the chemistry. Pirlo's come on board. I honestly think, I genuinely think Agnelli's brought on Pirlo to pacify things and bring the locker room back into one piece again and harmonious again.
Yeah.
Partly, right? If Sarri was still there, okay, I could maybe 2% believe that story, but it's bullshit. Ronaldo going to France. Why would he go to France? He knows it's not the best league, right? He knows he can do be like Zlatan. I'm the lion. I'm the king. Yeah, well, mate, you've been playing in the Farmers League. You know what I mean? They do the farming during the day, then they play a bit of football at night at 9 o'clock. What do you expect? I mean, with all due respect, right? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, Ronaldo, at the end of the day, to me, I've always said this, and I stick to what I said. I'll stand by this. He'll stay at Juve. And more than likely, listen, he's a great player. He's a world-class player. But he'd probably go to Inter Miami with Beckham or Los Angeles, LA Galaxy. And listen, conquer America in his commercial sense, advertising, all that stuff. He'll be the god in America, right? Sporting a $1 billion player. Why not? Good lifestyle, the weather, food, the people, Hollywood. He'll become a movie star. Who knows? Boo.
Right.
But go to Paris. To do what? Eat baguettes and camembert cheese and scoring goals with his eyes closed. What's the point?
True enough. I think, if they want to, I wouldn't mind if they throw in like an Mbappe or something like that.
Come on, Daniel. Even for you, that's crazy, man. That's crazy talk. But Mbappe
I'll take it.
Or Barcelona. No, listen. Realistically, if it happens, Ronaldo, money, and Icardi.
There we go. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
But so yeah, like I said, getting back to the order, obviously the day before the game, Paratici and Nedved were at the training apparently.
Yeah.
And they saw the midfield, so we knew what we were going to get into. I believe we played our best midfield in that game against Lyon. Would you say?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, even though Pjanic is a funny one, that one going to Barcelona, where's your mind? You know,
Yeah.
you're set to go to Barca now. Where's your but what? Listen, Daniel, what option do we have? No one.
And that's the thing that I always get back
Nothing.
to. And actually we'll get into it now, might as well, because it's fresh on the mind. We talk about this, who do we have? And I know Al was very vocal about Dybala even coming on, right?
Yeah.
In terms of, he talked about it obviously on his podcast with Graham after the match, and I heard it, a little bits and pieces when you guys did La Panchina, but I don't see that being as a problem. Like, I know he was like, well, don't keep Higuain on, maybe bring a defender in and change the formation. To be honest, we're screwed either way at that point. It doesn't matter if you bring on Demiral as another and you move the guys around, maybe a 5 in the middle and 2 up top or whatever the case. Even maybe 4 in the middle and 1 attacking mid and whoever you choose to be as your strikers. It doesn't matter. We were doomed in the beginning anyways. When you look at the bench, and I believe the only guys we had left were Demiral, Muratore, and Chiellini, and I think that's about it for this game against Lyon. It's done. It doesn't matter. The bench was screwed before the game even started.
Yeah,
Us not
sorry.
us not having enough players anyways that's just been life. Everybody's been talking about depth since the beginning, and there's no depth. I mean, there's a handful of these guys that just need to they got to do whatever they have to get rid of these guys.
I agree.
And we need to get back. We need to do a clean house. I know me and you have been talking about it, and I really think they need to. And unfortunately, Ronaldo fans' egos are going to take the hit that it has. But I personally think if Juve wants to get on up to a path to success, they need to start cleaning house, and one of those will probably have to be Ronaldo next year. I just think.
Well, Ronaldo will go probably next year. Probably go next year. But he'll stay with us this year.
Oh yeah, I think it's pretty obvious.
One more crack at it.
Yeah, exactly. He's got 2 years left, and then we see what options we have, obviously for him and for us, right? But I think you got to start cleaning house, and you got to start taking responsibility for the mistakes you made, for the contracts you signed stupidly. And if we don't see that change, guys, then literally we're going in circles. I'll tell you right now.
Well, yeah,
they haven't learned a lesson.
I'm big. I mean, I've made it quite clear. I'm a big fan of Higuainito, like I like to call him. He's done well for our club, right? And the people talk about the price tag, but he's paid that price tag back, I believe. But his time is up. His time is up, right? I'm the first to say that, right? Being a Higuain fan, his time is up. We'll be lucky if we get 5 mil, maybe 10 if we're lucky, even lucky. Go back to Argentina and play for his boyhood club, River Plate, and it's he'll probably go stay with his mum, who's not well. I can see Higuain going back. We probably get like a nominal fee and a couple of so-called young players like Javier Soviola or Pablo Amar, the next Pablo Amar, which turns out to be nothing, and they get shipped off to Parma or Sassuolo. But Higuain needs to go. He's on a fat paycheck, right? Bernardeschi, I'm so sad. I am so sad to see the way this guy's finished. I mean, when he played for Fiorentina, he was wow, and then came to us and just wow, speechless. I mean, the game against Lyon, that shows a man who's only scored 1 goal in 28 games. Huh? That shows because a man. You got defenders marauding down in, and you want to tap it in. Just bloody boot the ball in. Why you want to just tap it in? What? Might as well just go on your knees and head it with your hair in. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean,
I was shocked.
Really pissed me off.
I was shocked he even got to that position, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a great run. Man. What are you doing? And then he's like, oh, let me just tap it in, bang it in, man, bang the ball in. Anyway, but Benny's gonna go. We're gonna plus Valencia for him and make a bit of profitable for him as well. But he's got to go. And then you got to look in the other part. Pjanic is gone, right? Okay, you got Kulu coming in, Artur coming in, Khedira. I don't know, Dan. It's a waste of time talking about that guy. I don't understand.
It is. Terminate.
I don't know. Matuidi signed a contract recently, reduced salary. Right, fine. He can come on. He should come on as a sub. Last 10 minutes, chase the ball down. He's great at doing that. He's a great player at doing that. But don't give him the ball. And I don't know how many times I've been on La Panchina, and me and Graham are saying, what is Matuidi doing in the box? What are you doing? Why is he there? Why is there not Ronaldo, Dybala? Why is he there? So he's going to be staying, right? Bentancur, he's one of my favorite players. He's going to be the bedrock of Juve. Hopefully that Barca don't snap him up. And then the defense, Bonucci needs to be relegated to the bench at best, right? At best. And really start seeing this new relationship with Demiral and De Ligt. Really, let's see it happen. Let's see it grow, And
Yeah.
But like you said, I think you're right. There's a lot of players that needs to be, De Gea being one of them.
Even Costa.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him, Mr. Glass. He needs to go. He must go. I mean,
I think Ramsey, you can get rid of him as well.
Yeah,
I think.
Listen, Ramsey. You know what though? An interesting fact about Ramsey, he hasn't played start to end full 90 under Sarri, which I found astounding. Now he's made of glass, but he's not made of the same glass as Costa. And listen, I live in North London. I've watched Arsenal for many years. I'm not an Arsenal supporter, but I watched again. Ramsey is, when he attacks and he can link up play. I tell you that even you would think, fuck, what a player, what a classy player. Arsenal fans want him back now, today. Want him back, knowing his injury form. They still want him back.
And we've seen that, right? Like we've seen that in certain moments during the season, but. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. And even this last little bit, it seems like he hasn't been able to, perform at that level again.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's just because he hasn't been, if it's the fitness thing, if it's the being off for that many, and then having to kind of reintegrate quickly because the games are being played so often. I don't know. But I
don't think he's going anywhere.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think he's going anywhere.
See, I just think it's a good option when you have a guy that you paid nothing for, and then if you could go and get like 35, 40 million. But I mean, again, it all depends on the numbers, right? Like we can sit in here and say, and like you said, Higuain, you could sit here and say, okay, well, we'll get 15 million for Higuain. Oh, you got to find a buyer who wants to spend 15 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Same with, it's been the same story with Rugani, with De Sciglio, with all these guys. Every story, I mean, Al says we should have taken the 25 million. I don't think anyone wanted Rugani for 25 million. I think that was another story. They're all stories about, at the end of the day, when the names and when the contracts are signed and the announcements are made, that's when I know for sure we got that price, and that's it.
Yes.
I don't give a shit if they said they wanted this guy. I mean, PSG wanted Pjanic for 90 million the year before, if you remember correctly.
Recently, Barca wants De Sciglio for 10 mil.
Well, exactly. So, I mean, until shit's done, it is what the rumors are the rumors. Let's get into the young guys because there's going to be a lot of guys like under 20 or even loanies that are coming back. Obviously, you have Nicolucci Caviglia from Perugia is going to be coming back. He's gotten some time to play there. Pellegrini, big injury to him, so he didn't have a great season, but someone that we could use. You have Christian Romero from, I believe, Genoa. Perin, I guess he was on loan. I didn't even realize that. And Piazza as well. So, I think a lot of these guys are going to be the same narrative, the transfer market, financial dopers. So,
yeah.
And that's just the way things are. I hate how we've gone down this path. I wish we were smart enough to say, this is how much money we're making every year. We're always in the green. We always have a set amount that we can spend, and we've got into the situation where we're always hell-bent on finding ways to balance the books at the end. And you just can't run a business like that. Because once you hamper yourself at the beginning, then you're always shortchanging yourself on who someone has to go. And that's why now, I don't know if you're hearing, but like Dybala rumors are coming up, and Bentancur rumors are coming up, and Demiral rumors are coming up, because we got into this vicious cycle, Auber. And like I said, that's why we need to remove Full House. And even if we got to start trusting youth players, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, No, I agree with you. I think to an extent we've got ourselves tied in knickers in a twist when we've got all these freebies, but at what cost, and for how long? And the continuation of and how Al likes to put it, cut ties. We don't tend to do that with Khedira. Why do we extend? Why don't we just cut ties? End of, finished. Clearly, and they're talking. There's a mutual discussion about mutual consent between player and club. Apparently, Khedira is cutting off, but Who knows? Who knows? And listen, I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, you guys are always harsh on these players." But listen, I have very little sympathy. You forget these players are on absurd amount of
I
money.
know.
Absurd amount of money. I have people saying to me, "Why are you so harsh?" Well, I'll tell you why I'm so harsh, because these guys get paid to kick a piece of leather filled with air for 90 minutes. And then they go back onto their yachts and drive their Lamborghinis. And you've got genuine people who work hard, janitors, teachers, nurses, doctors, whatever, right? Hard-working people, right? And they don't get paid near as amount what these guys get paid. So that's why I expect the best from these people. And to be honest with you, we all as kids, we grew up, we want to become footballers or whatever, right? It's a very, very tough game there, right? You are one of the best. And to me, like you said, when you've got people like Khedira picking up a big fat paycheck or, doing nothing, and then he's always injured, I'm like, well, what? Come on, Juve, catch a wake up. It's time to reevaluate that. Stop with this bullshit freebie business, right? Stop it. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, okay, you don't pay Arsenal 50 million for Ramsey, but you're paying X amount of millions for his salary. And you start, you're talking about balancing books then. And then you think, well, then now we are this high we're very high on our liabilities of salary, but we were low on our transfer. Then now you're trying to do plus Valencias to try and equilibrate everything. And it just doesn't. Listen, you and I have clash heads on this sometimes. Unfortunately, football as a whole, not just Juventus, has become a business, right?
Right.
No matter, I don't care what Pinco Palino on the street says, it's become a business. Now, you look at what Danieli's done in the last 9 years. He's built a new stadium. We own the stadium. He's built the hotel. He's built the Fulham football stadium, mini stadium for them. He's got the J Medical into a super high standard. The social media front, the logo, which was controversial, all this stuff, it's all a business model. Because what will happen is, to me, I've seen it in England, football clubs are running to the ground and they're getting buried, and that's it. And excuse my pun, Bury FC, for example, very old football club, gone, buried, literally buried. So it's unfortunate. Listen, Daniel, the football I fell in love with, the football that I when I was a kid, I spoke about this on a few podcasts ago with Roman and Al and Graham, and I said to them, look, the football I fell in love with is not the football that's today. The kids that fall in love with football today is probably related with Pro Evolution and FIFA and Mbappe and trying to get your chemistry. And you want all these guys saying, oh yeah, we should get all these players. Yeah, but hold on, where's the money? Where do you think you get the money from? It's. I think that was an interesting stat. I don't know if you saw that just before the Lyon game on the day in the morning. Juve have earned more revenue in Champions League than Real Madrid, and we've won zip in the last 24 years. Why? Because we're doing what Arsenal have done for the last 20 years with Arsene Wenger, 17 years old. Always in the Champions League, always progressing in the Champions League, always turning that money. And the management, not the manager, the shareholders, I don't care. We don't win the Champions League. It's a bonus. But you know what? We're there. We're making the spondulis.
Well, and that's the thing. You look at it in that sense. Really, Italy as a country is not that difficult to bring in that money though, because you look at the TV revenue and the pie, right? When all these other teams, all these chokers get knocked out as they usually do, barring a couple of years where Roma will go to the semifinals and Napoli will go to the quarterfinal, whatever. Barring those times, we're taking the mass.
Sorry, just to correct you, Napoli's never been in quarterfinals in 94 years of history of Champions League, by the way. So just so you know.
They make a run to round of 16 or whatever. You're splitting it a little bit until then. But majority of the time, we're going to the semifinal or to the final. That money is all, that TV money all goes to you. Yeah. So it's to me, I wasn't surprised when I saw that number. I mean, most of the time we're getting the lion's share of it anyways.
Yeah.
And like I said, the TV revenue is the biggest part of that. I mean, when you go into the next round, they give you what, 20 million, this, 10 million, whatever. It's not that much of money. The money you're looking for is one, the gate, and two, the TV revenue.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So I wasn't really surprised.
Yeah.
To me, another key thing to look at though is you look at this at Brand Finance. They did a study. They looked at how much each brand is worth in 2020. Juve is still only in 11th at 676 million. Now you might think that's a lot, and that is quite a lot of money, especially in euros. But Inter at 466, Milan at 215.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still you still have those clubs that we're striving for, and even clubs that I don't even think sniff come close to us. The Arsenals, the Tottenhams, the Chelseas. You look at it in history wise. Even PSG, they're almost at €1 billion valuation just off of brand value. So I think there's a long way to go. With the Ronaldo argument, I like to poke fun. I like to bust Ronaldo fan and all these like simps fans. If you guys see me in a conversation, okay, you might think I'm bullshitting, whatever, that's fine. But to be honest, I think I just like to poke fun. I'll bring up the most random shit. I'll lie about arguments. I'll say whatever. I just like to get people pissed off. So if you ever see me in a long thread with like a Ronaldo fan, I'm saying whatever it is to piss them off. Okay, fact or no fact. So that's just my little fun that I like to have.
But it's ironic you talked about the brand though. Look at Juve's logo, right? I know you're not a fan of that, right? And you think that's a sellout, but that to me is a step closer to doing a partnership what PSG did with Nike. Oh, sorry, with Jordan. It's the same thing, right?
But I don't see it that way because
It's gonna happen.
me, Rocco, and Ivan, we talked about this, and I'm gonna release that part of the pre-show that we had the conversation. But I don't know if you know Luca on Real Juve Snob. I'm sure you've talked to him at some point, but he told me in his podcast that at least in Canada, right? Obviously, he's from Laval, so a population that's one of the bigger population centers, right, being close to Montreal. And he was saying people were coming up and asking him on the jersey now with the name on there, whose jersey is this? They didn't know. The half black, half white.
Okay.
So you could say that's anecdotal. I understand.
No. But know your target audience, right? Because I tell you something, right? With all due respect, and listen, I love your country. I love Canada. I've been there. I think it's a fantastic. Right. I think the people are fantastic. Food's great. Country is beautiful. But guys, Juve is not targeting Canadian market. They're targeting the market where they've got the money to spend is Asia, China. You go to China, the guys know Juventus.
I don't know about
that. They've got superstores in Hong Kong, in Singapore, man.
I don't know, my friend.
They're targeting Asian market. Like the banking system, everything's in Asia. Everything's Asia. The upcoming middle class in China is coming up. It's all about that. Look at the tours that they do. With all due respect, when did they do the last tour in Canada? When did they go to Montreal or Toronto, Juventus?
Oh, that would have been a while ago. But even US.
Yeah, okay, US.
It's not the same.
No, okay, but what I'm saying is, if you look at Man United, look at Chelsea, they all go do their pre-season tour where? Bloody Asia. All go to Asia, Singapore, Hong Kong.
I agree. I agree. That's a big that and huge. I'd say North America and Asia are the two that you have to hit. But I think I don't see Juve going to that level. Like no, but think about it like this: Chelsea didn't make their logo into a novel, modern, flashy logo to go to Asia. They still go to Asia.
No, I understand that, but do you not notice the teams are starting to do that, starting following suit? Deportivo doing it in Spain. Deportivo and Alaves have done it. Leeds are doing it.
But who's Deportivo Alaves?
I get
it's the same logo.
Okay,
it's not a different logo.
Merda are looking to do the same. There are things about them changing it.
They won't do it. I guarantee you they won't touch that.
Listen, look, you know what? Juve started something in Italy that all teams are following. They started with their stadium. Because as you know, all the stadiums in Italy, apart from Juve, are communal owned. Right? Milan want to own their own stadium. I know San Siro, even though iconic as a football stadium, they're going to try and do their own stadium, right? So Juve started that. What I'm saying is, with Agnelli, right? And this is the thing. This is the one thing I stand by Agnelli, right? Is the vision to go forward with the club. If the club, you got that badge. Listen, the badge to me, when people have tattoos of the badge, I think it's silly because that badge's going to change, right? It's going to change again. It will change again, right? But my point being is that at the end of the day, he's making it look that the word Juventus is disappearing. It's disappearing. It doesn't have it anymore.
Wrong.
You know, I bought a jumper for the next season, right? But it was pre-leased, right? I managed to get it off in Asia, right? It's a genuine, well, it's a copy, but anyway. But got Juventus. Now it's got rid of it, right? My point being is, if you look at outside the football world, look at Starbucks. Even though I don't like their coffee, I hate what they stand for. But Starbucks, you recognize Starbucks not by the wording, but by just the little mermaid in green. That's it.
Yeah.
And listen, the banking system in the UK are doing the exact same thing. All the banking, so what they're doing is they usually have the name, then the logo. What they've done is now swap that around, logo, name. And then in a few years' time, name's gone and you're left with the logo. Because we're now in a world, we are visually stimulated on these things. These things, right? This is right. So Juventus, you look at digital website, Juve sign, all this stuff. I honestly think we are way ahead of other clubs. That's what I think. You might not see it. I see it. I generally see we are way ahead of the other clubs. Way ahead of other clubs.
The reason why I don't see it is because at the end of the day, everything that you're discussing is a consumer good in a sense.
It is, but that's contrary to my previous point. It's a business. It's a business model.
It is, but Juve is... So how you get to that successful level is by winning the Champions League. So you if Juve wanted to do that, you change it at a level where you're winning the Champions League because your brand exposure is at its highest. If you keep losing, it doesn't. They could put a banana as the fucking logo, and it's not going to mean shit to anybody. I'll tell you right now.
But I tell you, Daniel, but Champions League, we haven't won it since '96. It's been 24 years.
But that's my whole point of jumping further than you can, and that's why I think the Ronaldo move was such a mistake, because we jumped further with empty pockets that we could afford, that's the big problem that we're running into now.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I think you as well. When you saw Agnelli in that helicopter going to Greece, come on, it was exciting. Come on, Ronaldo.
I agree. It was a thing, but again, you got to balance both sides.
I know. I agree with you. We sacrificed a lot on the salary front for players we could have maybe bought and maybe done better. Yes, I agree. I agree with you.
Oh, again, it's all hypothetical. I mean, we could still not win a Champions League and not have Ronaldo in the squad. I mean, that's still a possibility. I'm not saying it's a guarantee that we win just because we don't sign Ronaldo and we sign better players in the midfield, or we fix our midfield. Who knows? We could fix our midfield, go to the final, and still lose. That's still a possibility, right? It's a hypothetical.
But can I say something, right? Look at the logo, right? The J, the story behind it about the shield, the Scudetto, the lions, the black and white, and no matter how they pitched it and how sexy they made it look, but you could put that J logo easily on a tracksuit top, on a shoes, on anything, and nothing. It doesn't mean it doesn't look like you're I'm not saying you're a football hooligan or chav, but what I'm saying is it doesn't feel like. Actually, you don't have to be a football fan, but you're wearing it because it looks good. And that, I listen, I know what I'm saying doesn't make sense in a sense as a football fan, right? I've been supporting the club for well over 20 years, right? Over 25, 30 years, actually over 30 years. My point being is that to survive in the world that we're in, and the finances are getting stricter and that, they've got to think outside the box. Look at Man United, for example. Man United are still worth a hell of a lot, but they've won jack shit in the last 5 years, 6 years. They've won nothing, and yet they've got. I don't know how their value is still what they are.
Oh, because they have the fan base.
Yeah, okay, but their debt ratio is huge. The Glazers are pumping money out that club. But my point being is, okay, fine, but they've gone. You know what they've done? They've gone out to Asia and pumped Asia stupidly with Man. They've brainwashed them with Man United stuff left, right, and center.
But see, the thing. This is what I see though, and this is the problem. And you said it exactly. I think. When you pump to Asia, that's fine. I think Juve should have gone to that. But my point is this. And I think Agnelli got this completely wrong. They expected that Ronaldo fans are like the people of Asia, and I don't see that being the case. If you go to Asia, they buy the merch. They buy all that stuff.
Yeah.
They buy the official merch. I'm not talking about China special.
China knockoffs, yeah.
Okay? They buy our interactions. You could say we have 1 billion interactions, but they're not buying it on the same level. Ronaldo fans, I ask them all the time. That's my last argument. That's the last. How many Ronaldo jerseys did you get this year? Oh, I got
Probably
the.
none.
Oh, I got the first one. Oh, I got the first one. Oh, I got this year's. I
Yeah.
bought one home one. That's where you're bringing in your money. And at the end of the day, if you're not getting, if you go from 8 million followers to 40 million followers, and you're only getting 500,000 buying the merch, it doesn't matter how many you got on social media.
But Juve are doing something very clever, and they've got what they call spinare ogni pollo. There's a chicken to defeather, right? To pluck, where they got these limited jerseys that they come out with every like in 3 months.
But see, the thing is,
Don't tell me you're the one who buys it.
No, not the that last one. There's no way I was gonna buy that one. I mean, if it was,
local edition, I'm thinking 500 shirts. Look, they had the one with China before the season, that Chinese written one, right?
Yeah.
Then they had the Super Cup in Arabic. Then they had the Palace edition. Then they had which I think confused fuck out of everyone, the locker edition. What does that even mean, right? Like,
it's not even signed, bro.
It's got the player's number size. What is that? 500, 2,000 at what, 250? That's a lot of money, man. They just made. They're sold out.
But the thing is, I don't know if they're selling out. To be honest, I think what they're doing is after like a couple days, they're pulling them and saying that's sold out. That's my honest opinion.
Wow.
Because if you looked at the locker room edition, they did not sell out because
Ronaldo got sold out.
Those did, yes. Those were gone within probably an hour or less. But for the other jerseys, they didn't sell out during that day. Because I don't think people aren't stupid enough to buy authentic jersey that just has the Adidas size in a nice box.
What about Buffon's one? When the 648 one or the 68, whatever the one, 68.
That one probably sold a lot.
I know someone quite close to me that bought the last Juventus Buffon black jersey. That was supposed to be his last game, and then he went back. I mean, and then he did. You know what? They're going to do another jersey when Buffon retires. It's going to be the most appearance in Serie A, and then another jersey of Buffon's last edition jerseys. That's 2 already, huh? And you'll see. Sure. And this is one aimed to L. I'm sure L will be the polo to buy both, hands down.
Oh, I'll be buying both too, man. No, but see, okay, but the thing is this: I agree with those limited things, but if you're trying to get on a, and I knew the logo was going to trip us up. I knew this is going to be the sticking point because me and you like to go back and forth on it, and I respect what you have to say. I agree to a lot of the points you make, Auber, but to me, I see it as 2 different things, you know. And Rocco actually said it best when he came on. Juve could have done a brand, and then they could have done a footballing brand. So you have this, if you want to create a brand, that's fine. You go ahead. You make this new J logo, and you sell it like you do with Jordan, with Adidas, like kicks and stuff like that. And a lot of the stuff that the young kids and even people who have been following Jordan and sneaker culture for many, many years, the Reeboks and the, different brands, the Fila. You think about it, Fila's coming back, Kappa's coming back. You see it in stores and Foot Lockers and stuff like that. So to me, what Juve has to do is they should have made a brand and then have a footballing. They could have modernized the logo we had before. That's not what my issue is. My issue is you went to a logo, you didn't hop, step, and jump to get to that logo. You went directly into it with no real bang besides the public knowing that you sold your soul. I mean, it made a little bit of a splash at the beginning, but do that after you win a Champions League. Say, this is what we're going into. This is the winning brand. This is what we're all about, winning titles. You don't announce it in the dark and then go, oh, we're this new brand, and then a couple years later, we're getting rid of the name of the squad. I don't see that approach as being very effective.
But you talk about Rocco's talking about creating one brand, and what's the second part then to it? You said there are 2 sides to it.
No, like you have one where you have a logo for the football, for the kits.
Yeah.
One that you appease the old heads or the vecchi tifosi, whatever you want to call them. the old school people, and then you have like a brand on the side that you push, where you do merch,
There's
where
the
you
mistake.
do
There's the mistake. Because how do the old tifosi, how much merch do you think they buy?
a lot. Oh yeah, my friend.
I tell you something. I know people who've got children who don't even follow football, and they look at the merch, at Juve's merch stuff. You know, that kind of funky colors and the logo. They don't know it's a football club, but they say, you know what? I really like that. I'd like to buy. That, my friend, is expanding into other markets, and that's to what I see it as. Right? Listen, you're talking to a guy who is born and bred
Oh, I
with the
know.
stemma on tattooed right here in the heart. Right? The old school. I'm old school, but
Yeah.
I'm wise enough to understand. Listen, you and me, when we're gonna get old, the club we know today that we are kind of going back
Oh,
and
that's
forth
for sure.
about, it's gonna change. It's gonna change. It's gonna
That's
be
for
like
sure.
there won't be a J anymore. It'll be just like it'll be like a dot, you know. And then
Yeah,
I know that's stupid. That's exaggerated, but you know what I mean. It's going to be
I got you. I got you.
completely. Listen, this football jersey stuff, right? Which I find amusing, right? You get your first jersey. It's controversial. First jersey, second jersey, third jersey, and then you got all these limited jerseys, right? You know, and you know, to me, it makes me laugh. To me, first jersey, home jersey, do not touch the goddamn black and white stripes. Leave them in. I don't give a shit if they look like the same every year. Just leave them in. Make them fatter, make them thinner, make them whatever. Don't give a shit. Don't touch that. Second away jersey, it needs to be either pink or blue and yellow. Blue and yellow for the color of the city, and pink is of our original color. Right. Third jersey.
Do whatever the
This is
fuck
what
you
you're gonna
like.
like. Do what you want. Fucking orange stripes, tiger stripes, pink dots, blue dots. I don't give a toss. Do it for the market. Do it for the Chinese market. Do it for the American market. Do the garish colors. I don't care. Go crazy. Go crazy. But don't touch the first two. Don't touch the first. And then the limited stuff, do it. Because I'm not one who buys limited jerseys. So you can do your Pinco Palino 250 at Pop Palace limited edition. I don't care. Fuck, there's a market for it. Then do it. And that's what I'm saying. You know, but listen, you know, you see a lot of collaboration, and I agree with you. I'd love it because I'm a Jordan fan, right? And I'd love it. I'd love it if they did something with Jordan, like what I accept, what PSG have
PSG.
done. I love the kit, the black and gold with the Jordan. Oh, man, that's
See, the thing is you see it everywhere. Like it's in stores everywhere. Like that's like I see. That's where I got into it
that
with
even
someone.
appeals to an old man like me.
Well, no. Like I said, I got into it with I can't remember who it was, but about exposure, and they're saying, well, we Adidas. We're the only Italian team with Adidas, and I said, well, what does it matter? You have the Italian market in your back pocket, anyways. That's not if you're in the Adidas camp globally, where you have Real Madrid, Man U, and Arsenal and Bayern. That's a way tougher market to crack worldwide than being with Nike. Well, they're saying, well, Inter, you want to be on shelf space and this. I said that doesn't mean anything. You're winning the Scudetto every year. You have the most fans in Italy. You will have no problem winning the Italian. You don't need exposure in the Italian market.
Yeah, he has one for you, and this will
So
be a
I
third.
I would almost rather go back to Nike because you only have to, and then you can get into something like a Jordan link up, and that's what Juve needs because they've released about 6 different shoes now, 6 different Jordan shoes, different colors. Some may be appealing to some, maybe some appealing to, but you have that other exposure, and in America and in worldwide, sneakers are king right now. They are dominating the market. People are reselling them. People are, buying, rocking them, doing it, whatever. It's
How,
it's a thing.
how
And
about this? How about this? Like the Italian national team, sponsored, and they look slick and sweet as with Emperor Armani. How about Juve doing a collab or as a shirt sponsor first ever with either Versace or Gucci or Dolce Gabbana or Armani? Can you imagine? Can you
that
imagine the it completely sidesteps the entire football market and it becomes
that
the
would
new
be
trend.
unbelievable, but I don't see Juve doing that. I just don't. I
Well,
don't
listen,
see
you've heard this here first, huh? If this
if that
happens,
happens, Aubert,
you're
I'm gonna
coming
give you
back
a
to
hug.
me.
I'm gonna give you a hug because that would be honestly that would be sweet. But
Can you imagine the pre-match kit, the training kit, the match kit, the post-match? Oh my goodness! You know what? I'll be the Muppet starting to pay for that kind of money. I'll be the Muppet.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I'll be buying those for sure at whatever price they are. That's
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true because that's class,
Oh yeah, exactly.
You never know.
Well, who knows? I mean, hey, I always say this: prove me wrong.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna call you out on it, prove me wrong. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not the type of guy to be like, no, that's not what it is. Maybe to Ronaldo fans, but to anyone else, I have no problem saying I was wrong. I was on you look at Tech, I think I was wrong. I've had some bad opinions about him, and I've said he's done wonderful things, but and on multiple other things that I don't necessarily need to. I don't need to bring up everything that I've been wrong on, but you get my point.
No one's perfect, eh? We get it all wrong.
Oh no, but my point is, this is how I think. If Juve as a marketing brand wants to go there, and there's so many other brands that we could actually partner with that I think that would do wonders for us. But I don't see our market like you look at the hashtag wonderful, hashtag stronger, and I mean it's just so cringe, man. And you're like, who's coming up with? Who's getting paid to come up with this?
I came up with one I thought was pretty good. The Grandioso, the G Grandioso. Exactly. It's 9 in a row. That's never been done before in over 100 years of football's history in Italy. I mean, Grandioso.
It's like they don't want to. They don't. And again, this is what comes with the brand. They want to get away from the Italian language and being part of Italy and stuff like that. And that's what pisses me off.
What pisses me off is when Bonaparti says when winning, the famous, there's the only thing that counts. We should stand by that. When I hear commentators like Tancredi Palmermi and all these idiots saying, "Oh yeah, well that's not the right attitude to bullshit." Listen, tell me honestly, anyone can pull me up on this, right? You trained for the Olympics for 8 years, right, to win bronze. You fucking happy? Of course you're happy you won a medal, but for God's sake, you want to win gold. It's the ultimate prize. It's the ultimate prize to win the World Cup. Ultimate prize to no one wants to come. Like Conte said, like he said in his interview a few weeks ago, coming finishing second, so for first losers, nothing to be proud of. So forget it.
Well, it is. It is. I agree with that statement 100%. And
Another thing, I just wanted to say very quickly, when they talk about just touch upon Allegri, and this is what I missed about Allegri's post-match interviews compared to Sarri, is that he explained this theory about this corto muso, like horse race, right? You win it by nose, you lost it by nose. No one cares if you won it by 2 horse lengths or 3 horse lengths. You won it by a nose. You won the race. Your name comes on the title as the winner, not the winner by a point. So my point being is, I can go on and on about this.
Well, no, speaking about Allegri, the thing that he came up with all these philosophies, and then they would just never apply to him. Like he would talk about being the winner by the hairs of a horse's nose, but then when he got into the Champions League, you get smashed 4-1 in the finals and have nothing. And then apparently the guys are exhausted, and so that's what killed me about Allegri's post matches. He always had all these theories and excuses of why he could never change.
Listen, I agree.
To explain why, to explain his deficiencies,
Daniel. It's better than fucking Sarri saying, if I had to lose to a team, I wouldn't be happy to lose to a team like Napoli. My you and your fucking team of Napoli.
I don't disagree with that.
Off, honestly. That is bullshit. Or when you say, I depend on individual brilliance. What do you mean? No. A team, there is no I in team. Right? Yeah. Ronaldo's a great player, but you need to build the team together. And this is that's what I missed about Allegri, but just the post-match stuff, So, and he's head with Adani, that stupid Merda fan footballer. I don't know if you know him. It's the Sky. Yeah, and he always has a pop at Allegri, and Allegri should put him in his place about educating about football, which is. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah, I think I was on Al's podcast when when he had that famous incident with Adani in his last season, I believe it was. Yeah. I think that was the podcast that I was on, so we talked about that quite heavily. But let's get back in, because again, there's still lots. In terms of players coming back, Mandragora is apparently not going to be that's not going to be exercised this year. Still an option for next year. Again, like I said, Bentancur there's been talks with Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, even Man City 50 million, I think that's not enough for someone of
Not
his
even 100.
level.
I don't care. He's untouchable.
Exactly.
He's unsellable for me.
Talking about Pjanic, like you said, he says that this was before the game obviously took place, but he said he already talked with the club. I'll give him my all against Lyon. Like, I didn't sign with Barcelona. Juve fans deserve to lift the UCL. We've been close many times, and we deserve it after all the criticism we got this season. But I think he had a pretty good post-game. We'll get into later, post-game presser talking about the Juve fans. And, it's going to be unfortunate that it had to end the way it did. But on to brighter pastures, I guess, for him and for us with but it's interesting because we get into before the game, and Romeo Agresti is reporting that Juve management have made the decision that this game means nothing for Sarri's future. Now, you could take it both ways. You could mean that, well, they already know what they're going to do and they're going to fire him, or it means that if it doesn't matter if he loses, they've already made the decision that he's staying. So that was kind of something to think about before the game. And then it was found out that Quadrado was going to be the favorite to start over Bernardeschi, which I thought was interesting. But we were also hoping that Dybala was going to come back into the team, which never happened. He just went onto the bench. And then the quote, which kind of stuck in my mind before the game, from Szczesny. And he goes, "There's a similar environment to last year before the return leg against Atletico Madrid. We can do it this year too. Without fans will be difficult, but we're all focused and determined to advance. Cristiano is ready for another miracle." So in my mind, is the team really gearing up to? Is this what they're expecting now? Is like this is going to be Ronaldo? Like, was there anything troubling with what you heard? With what you heard about that, Albert?
Well, I think the interesting comment about Romeo Agresti saying about was it Romeo Agresti or Fabrizio Romano? I can't remember what you were saying, but that comment, Romeo, it was interesting because watching the last couple of nights with Monblano on TV on the TG 24 Calcio, they were saying that the decision was made that he was going to get sacked regardless. So even if I tell you that was a pinch of salt, because if you won the Champions League, to sack a coach, that would have been hard to do, right? I would have said, "Listen, are you stupid, man?" But apparently the decision was made that he was going to sack him anyway. And it was interesting because Sarri, in his post-match interview, got directly asked a question from a reporter saying, "There are rumors right now that you're going to be sacked tonight," and he said that kind of discussion or that kind of question goes directly to the top. He was referring to Agnelli, right? And Agnelli said after the game, they was asked, "Is Sarri safe?" He said, "Is Sarri had to stay?" He said, "What?" He didn't say he said yes. He didn't say anything else. He just said yes. So I don't know what happened from that night, of Lyon's night post-game, to the morning of Saturday, and I completely missed all this in the afternoon while I was away, to this all blow up. So, listen, Daniel, you and I are mere mortals, mere peasants. There's a lot we don't know about, right? No tifosi on Twitterati, on Instagram, on TikTok, no tifosi will know. Not even reporters would know this. There's a lot of things going on in that club we didn't know about that was happening with Sarri. Did he lose the locker room? We could see it on the pitch. Look at the cooling break. Sarri didn't even come to the players. 1-0 down. You don't talk to the players. Come on, let's do this. No, it was Buffon. What? Or the game against Lazio when we were like, Agnelli went down into the tunnel and he's coming out fuming, and you see Sarri like a child, like getting, when he got a bollocking, he's that awkward smile. I'm thinking to myself, chewing out stupid butt. I'm thinking, that's weird. If you think about all these moments, and apparently he lost it against Cagliari and Udinese. Those two games we lost. I think apparently it got lost there. But I don't know. Was it Ronaldo unhappy, putting his fist on the table? I'm going. Is it him or me? You choose. Could it be that? Who knows? Ronaldo fanboys must have loved that news. Who knows? But listen, you and me, I'm not going to pretend I know it all or I'm a journalist. I don't know. But clearly, there are some fundamental issues, deeper cracks we as fans don't know about, and it's clearly showing. For Agnelli to completely sack Sarri off and get Pirlo off the bench like that, that's wow. Big balls. Anyway,
exactly. I think that's perfect, because I was just about to touch on what his actual press conference. Usually, before Champions League games, the day before or 2 days before, you're getting the press conference, right? So he talked about Dybala, and they said they were going to try till the end. Again, they know more than we do. So at the end of the day, when you see him in the lineup like we did, or not in the lineup but on the bench, you say, okay, maybe he's got 60-70% in him, but not enough to start the full game. And then he talks about his future, like you said, and he even states that it won't depend on this match. I think this question is essentially calling our directors amateurish, which I don't think they are. They will have made their evaluation based on the entire season as a whole. If they already decided to get a new coach, tomorrow won't make any difference, nor will a victory. So I don't know if this was foreshadowing. Like I said, I don't know if this was like kind of like a mutually understood thing between everyone in the back room.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. People saying they knew this, and I think journalism is a bunch of, at least in today's world, this journalism shit is all fucking rumors and hearing this, and some person told you this. That's
all about the clickbaiting.
That the assistant's secretary's uncle was told in a dinner the night before. I don't know. I don't believe a lot of this bullshit that people are, apparently to Moblano, Guardiola's still coming at some point. So he's going to play that trump card when he comes in about 6 years. Oh, I was right. I said he was going to come. I didn't tell you when, but it happened. So I'm going to take credit for it. And now everybody's jumping on this. Oh, look, he's right in everything. He got Ronaldo right. He got Pirlo right. I mean, the guy probably sleeps at the stadium, so within seconds of him knowing that Pirlo's going, I mean, who else is going to be the first one to know he's going to become the coach?
But did you not find it interesting about Agnelli appointing Pirlo 10 days ago as his under-23 coach? Out of nowhere. Nowhere. I was surprised with that. Happy, but surprised. I thought, okay, you maybe get the respect of young players, and then 10 days later, he's the mister.
See, I don't know if they even, I think I don't think that was a determining factor though, because if you do that, then what's the point of announcing them, right? That's right. Like if they knew that was the case, I don't know why you would announce them in the first place.
I tell you this. Roman we had a conversation today about this, right? And Roman, and this is to credit to Roman. He was saying from just Juve therapy, and he said, it's about the badges, right? So Pirlo didn't have a badge enough for CDSC like last year, right? So he didn't have the badges to be officiated, right? But because he needs to be coaching a Serie C level team. Technically, he's a manager of a Serie C team already. He's now been immediately promoted to...
there you go.
It's a clever after. That's credit to Juve therapy there, because that was a very clever thing.
Buddy.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, to me... I don't know. Are we going to touch about this Pirlo now, or do you want to talk about that later? Or we're in it now with Pirlo?
No, we can. We're almost there. We're almost there. Obviously, the game happens. We win 2-1. Things don't go our way. Ronaldo gets his 36 goals in a single season, a record which stood for 95 years. All the Ronaldo stands are happy. Obviously, he was the best-rated player according to Tuttosport and Gazzetta. I think it makes sense. I mean, for me, I would have given him the highest rating anyways.
Second goal was...
Oh, yeah. You know what pisses me off? I go, why doesn't he do this more often?
No, but Daniel, listen, and I don't know if you're if the Ronaldo fanboys watches your podcast, but if you see Ronaldo, his Madrid heydays to Juventus heydays, he doesn't do any more running at players at full tilt. He doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't cut in and strike the ball like venomous. He doesn't do that anymore. He's always trying to get the ball out wide, goes in, passes it back, and tries a little running, but he doesn't run at players. Is it because he's getting older? I don't know. But that strike he did, I mean, jeez. I mean, I thought he hit the side netting. I was just shocked. I thought he hit the side. If you watch La Panchina and you see my reaction, I was like, is that goal or is that a side net? I can't tell the difference because the ball literally span around. I was like, wow. I was shocked.
Yeah, no, it was weird. I had just walked in from work just a few minutes before that happened, so I was like, oh shit, we're up 2-1 now. Like it was great. It was unbelievable. But obviously then the post game where all the rumors start circulating because Agnelli goes on the stand and the seal was a dream before, now it's an objective, and going out like this is disappointing for us, for the players and for the fans. Now we will take a few days. We'll make some overall assessments. and that was it. Then in the news, I'm just gonna start reading them all. Sarri this big, Inzaghi, Mancini, Zidane, or even Pirlo, the possible, according to Tutto Sport. Inzaghi, Zidane, or even Allegri, according to Gazzetta. That was coming out through them. Then we get into, talking about Sarri complaining about too long of a squad. Chan and Mandzukic are excluded from the UCL list, and then we ended up with Olivieri playing the last 15 minutes. So kind of the irony in that. Again, another kind of comment. This is probably the lowest point of these 9 beautiful years. Too many things to be fixed. We see no way out. I don't know if this is the end of the cycle, but for sure, Agnelli's decisions in the next 2 to 3 weeks will be crucial to our destiny. Are you optimistic? That was actually from around Turin, Maurizio. Then in the morning, it all fucking kicks off. So rumors, obviously, Tutto Sport, if you saw the headline, it said Sarri out. And in the morning, there's rumors all over the place. Sarri just got sacked. There's a summit taking place. And then we were hearing, well, Spalletti and Pirlo are among the, maybe it's Pochettino's heading the list of probable coaches. But then again, so here's some more articles. Paratici was willing to continue with Sarri as there's no time for change. He could leave the club with Maurizio. That was according to Sky. Then we had Sarri wasn't sacked only for the results, but mainly for his bad relationship with the club and part of the dressing room. He had some big arguments with the players after defeats in Udine and Cagliari, like you said. And Agnelli wasn't happy for his statements about the fixture list. So that was another thing that came out. Then we get, like I said, Maurizio Pochettino was in pole position for the bench. Obviously, there was apparent contacts with the Bianconeri emissaries in recent days, according to Corriere Torino. But the pay would have been 10 to 12 million, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, if they wanted to hire him, which is a lot of money, right? I mean, we're only paying Sarri 5.5 or 6 million, I think it was, a season. So to jump up there and then still have to pay Sarri's wage for 2 years is, I didn't think that's the reason why I thought Juve wasn't going to go that route. And then we talk about like you said, Monblano, CR7 had already let the club know that he would not stay if Sarri was staying. He is furious, but I think he'll stay. So that was something that he said. So again, all these rumors circulating until the inevitable moment where Sarri was sacked. And, to me, it was, like I said, I was surprised.
I was shocked. And I tell you why, because on the night when we were watching on live with the guys on La Panchina, I was thinking to myself, Sarri saved himself by the skin of his teeth, by the winning Serie A. Listen, I said this from the beginning. Sarri had 2 things to do at the beginning of this year. And I said this all the time. 1, to deliver silverware. Whatever silverware. 2, change the philosophy of football at the club. Did 1, 2, horrendously bad. Now, people saying, oh yeah, but you've got to give a coach time. You have to have the players he needs. Listen, Sarri sat there with, at that time, I can imagine the scene, sitting down at a dinner table with Agnelli. This is the squad. This is the objective. This is what we need to do. What do you do
it. Yeah. Can you do it or not?
Can you do it? Are you comfortable? Can you implement that? He's not going to say, well, I don't have my Jorginho. I can't play so. I don't have time. Bullshit. You're getting paid 5-6 million to manage people. I can do the job. Right? And when people told me, but Sarri needs time. All right, let's look across the city to Milan and look at Conte. Look at the impact he's had at Merda. Look at the impact he's done there, right? So don't give me that bullshit. And then giving me time. There's no time. Football. And listen, unfortunately, when you come to football at levels of Juventus, when people say bring in someone Inzaghi, now look, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. No. Why? Yeah. He's been at Lazio a lot of years to build that team. A long time. Supercoppa win there, maybe the Coppa Italia, odd wins there. Juventus wouldn't have that pleasure of time. Gasperini, let's not forget, he went to Inter, didn't work out well, he went back to Atlanta. But took time. Years, right? So forget about those 2. Pochettino, I live in North London. When we played Tottenham in Champions League, we beat them, right? And 180 minutes, Tottenham outplayed us for 180 minutes. No, sorry, outplayed us for 180 minutes because there was extra time. We only played 10 minutes of football. And you know what they said, the fans? The problem with Pochettino? is he can't game manage. He cannot react. He can listen. I live in North London. I speak to these people all the time. They talk about Pochettino. He's a great guy. He went from Southampton to Tottenham, but it got to a point where nothing was happening. He wasn't reacting. He wasn't making the change. Just give the ball to Kane. Give the ball to Dele Alli. So why would you want another coach just like Sarri who can't manage the game? Right. So that's Pochettino out. And plus the guy's too expensive, man. I think it was actually 17 million or 15 million he wanted. Right. So he's out the frame.
Okay. There you go.
Zizou, listen, he's at Madrid. Forget it. Right. He's won the title. He's not going to go anywhere. Pep, he's got this project with Man City. His cycle's coming towards an end. That's where I think this kind of stopgap with Pirlo is coming into play here, right? But I'll be honest with you, Pirlo, I was shocked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Me too. And I was like, I was okay. I was like, I'll take Pochettino right now. I kind of wanted him before so we signed Sarri. I do get his game management, but I think he's gotten to a level where he can take players and put a squad together. And I think he's smart enough to do that, like what he did at Tottenham. And really, for us, with Conte, I didn't think. I was kind of joking that was going to be the case. I wish actually, to be honest, I would love to see Allegri go to Merda. I really do. I have a love-hate with Allegri that'll never go ever. He rubbed me the wrong way.
Do you want to talk about Conte very quickly? Very quick, interesting fact for you to I don't know if you know this fact, but back in 2011, Agnelli wanted Conte, but the entire management were against the idea, but he went with it.
Yeah.
Fast forward 9 years later, Agnelli wants Pirlo, but the management don't want him.
Yeah. So
even I heard the players reading through different outlets, they're saying they were shocked with Pirlo as a toy. Even look at Buffon's comment in Instagram saying, "Do I have to call you Mister now?" I mean, do you know where you're when you I don't know if it's ever happened to me. My lecturer, right, my old lecturer from university, we've become very good friends over the last X amount of years. Where does the line cross when you become respect being the lecturer and the student, and where does it become when you become friends? So listen, I think I look, a lot of youngsters love Pirlo. I love Pirlo. I think I'm a great fan of Pirlo on the pitch. But listen, I'm not a Mr. Negative, but it's very clear as a footballer and a football manager is two different things. And I'll explain this very quickly and very ruthlessly. Wenger, Ferguson, Mourinho, Klopp, I can keep going, were all shit footballers on the pitch. But they're not shit managers, were they? They've won a lot. Right? So what I'm saying is, it doesn't mean, look at now, but look at Zidane. Yeah, but Zidane did 2 years at Castilla. He done 2 years. And that was a shock, anointment to Madrid. That was a shock when he went to and he did well, fine. But for every Zizou, forget about Pep Guardiola, because Zizou was a world-class player. For every Zizou, how many other managers have we seen, player managers, have failed? Right. I'll name you a few already, very quickly. For Milan, Seedorf, gone. Pippo Inzaghi, gone. Gattuso, okay,
still too early.
Yeah, but Napoli's won their Coppa Italia, but we were dog shite anyway. But he won it, right? Okay. Look at all the other ones. Yeah. People don't know. Massimo Oddo, he became a coach. Girardino became a coach. Have we heard of him? No, of course not. This is the thing. Nesta's a coach. People in Zaghi's bring Benevento back up, or Frosinone. I don't know, one of the two, but they back up and said, Benevento, sorry. But my point being, right, Pirlo is a cool guy. People say, he's cool with his suit and man, he looks suave, he's cool, he brings his persona, he knows how to play. He knows how to play the game. But guys, it's not about. And I keep, and I don't want to be Mr. Negative here, but I'm telling you now, two things are going to happen. One, it's probably one of the most ingenious moves by nearly an entire history of Serie A football. Or two, we're fucked as a club. Simple as that. Egg on the face on the club, the management, the fans. I tell you, I'm getting ripped to shreds by Man United support, Liverpool supporters. You don't even support you, man. They say, what's going on with your club? Where's Pirlo come from? Another thing, Steven Gerrard. He's at Rangers. Up in Scotland, they're taking the piss. He's been there for 2 whatever seasons, and he's done fuck all. Lampard, he's done his time at Derby. He's gone to Chelsea. All right, his hands were tied, but they finished fourth.
They got smashed yesterday, 7-1.
Yeah, okay. They finished fourth. No cups.
No.
And he's a great player, Lampard. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean.
it's
It
difficult.
doesn't
It's
mean.
difficult. It doesn't translate at all. I agree 100%. And that's the worrying part that I think people, and there was a couple people online that were like trying to say, "Oh, Zidane didn't have that much
Uh,
experience." Guys, he was an assistant in the first squad.
yeah, and he
That's the
did two
right
years.
that's the right-hand man
And he did 2
of
years in Castilla.
Ancelotti. And Castilla, like it's another level. You guys, you cannot say to me that not having any experience at all is equal to even coaching the second team, mind you, being an assistant in the first team. So this is not the same. To me, I agree with you 100%, Albert, and I'll let you get your piece in. But I think this year, and again, if you want to call me negative or not, I'm going to be just as critical as I was to Allegri, as I was to Sarri, as I was to Conte, as I will be to Pirlo. It doesn't matter because this is the standard that we need to set to make sure that this club still wins, and that's the only important thing. When you get a guy like Pirlo that comes in, you know what's going to happen? One of two things. Like you said, it's either going to go really well or the fans are going to turn, it's going to be turning, they're going to rip this legend apart. And that was the thing. That was the thing that was going to hurt me the most that I thought is going to happen. Now the club is throwing legends in between the club and the fans. And that's going to be a nightmare in my opinion.
And the thing is, right, and I quote and unquote Graham, he said this eloquently, and it's fantastic. To any argument that we're going to have now, and I'm going to have a few discussions with people on Twitterati for sure about Pirlo. So, you Mr. Negative. I say, okay, fine. You buy a house, and this is quote unquote Graham. You buy a house, it needs to be electrically rewired. The entire house needs to be electrically rewired. Guy knocks on the door. Hello, it's my first day on the job. I'm an apprentice, never done it before, but I'm going to rewire your house. Now, you're going to pay $5,000 or $2,500, whatever, to someone who's going to rewire your entire house who's never done a job before in their life. That is the simple analogy to use to any argument. And do not tell me, oh yeah, but John Smith next door, he's done his first job and he did an excellent job. Yeah, but John Smith got lucky maybe. But my point being is you can't compare Pirlo to Zizou because A, we're not Real Madrid. And B, we don't have a full of superstars and the money that Real Madrid have. So do not compare us to Zizou and Madrid. We are a different kettle of fish. Listen, I hope Pirlo does well for us.
Me too.
Listen, but come December, listen, I'm not pessimistic. I'm not negative, but life has taught me very simple rules. And listen, I'm not know it all, but I know one thing for sure is life is full of life is built on experiences. Right? You need experience in life. You make mistakes. I make mistakes. You make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. But you learn from it, and that's called experience. And with Pirlo, no experience. Oh, you know what? I told the guys today, I've got zero expectation of winning anything next season. Zero.
I was actually going to ask you that.
Né Coppa Italia, né Supercoppa Italia, Pinco Pallino Berlusconi Cup, neanche la Champions League. Zero.
Well, it's a disaster waiting to happen, but it's also like a big ask. It's not like exciting, but yeah, I was shocked. Like I said, honestly, I would have preferred them just bite the bullet and get someone like Pochettino. To be honest, I would have rather risked that.
What about Spalletti?
No, not big enough.
Yeah, but Daniel, if it's a short stopgap for Pep or for Zizou, it's a short stopgap.
But I don't think it is. I mean, he's okay. So let's get into this. So he signed. We signed a 2-year contract, right?
2-year contract.
I don't see it being a stopgap at all.
So how is that not a stopgap when you got Sarri that was signed for 2 years?
No, Sarri was signed for 3.
Oh, I thought it was 2. But if it's 3, fine. But still, it's short. It's not a 5-year cycle, huh?
No, but I think that's enough for you. I think Agnelli is banking on this to be Zidane 2.0, 100%.
He's banking a decima, huh? The 10th title in a row, miss, huh? It's big balls to do that, huh?
Oh, it is big balls, but I think it's going to be another mistake that everyone's going to realize. And like I said, it's going to divide a lot of people. It's going to divide the fans. The fans are going to go against Pirlo. Trust, I already see it playing out in my head. I already have the narrative I see the narrative rolling, and to me that's unfortunate because of what he's done for us. I mean, coming in 2011 and turning things completely around.
Yeah.
I think it's just a poor decision. It's poor decision making. And I don't even know if I want Zidane, to be honest, and Guardiola. I don't even know if I want those guys, to be quite honest, because Guardiola, we don't have the bank.
No.
We don't have the Brinks truck lined up.
No.
And Zidane, look at this year. Zidane wasn't great this year. Let's be honest. You look at what he had. He walked in, and again, that Zidane argument, like you said perfectly, is he walked into the perfect situation. They had built up a team with him that had Cristiano at what?
Ronaldo.
30,
yeah, exactly.
At 30 years old, 32, 20.
Top form of his life.
Right. So it's a completely different argument at all. Like we're talking night and day here. So I don't know. To me, man.
No, but hold on. With
Zizou,
listen, with Zizou, I disagree with you this, right? Because he's won the Champions League, 3 times with Real Madrid?
Yeah.
He's won the league. So he's built experience already. He has built experience.
No, but I'm not talking about experience. I think it's more of with Madrid. I think it was more of just getting the players to perform.
Yes. That I agree. He had the superstars there to play, right? He had
Ronaldo. He wasn't really a tactical. I'm not going to say he's a tactical genius from what I've seen. I mean, his tactics are pretty blah. In my opinion, I don't.
Who would you rather have then?
I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what we want to do. We're in this position. This is the toughest thing for me. Is we're in this position where we're one leg in, one leg out, and we don't know which. So either you got to strip it all, get rid of Ronaldo, have a core set of players, start building again around those players. Bring in a coach that wants to play a system that has the backing of the players, and you go from there, or you got to spend a shit ton of money, and I don't see the club doing. So I don't know. There's so many mixed messages from Agnelli, from Paratici, from the coaches. I don't know what this team wants to do. We want to be a brand. We don't want to be a brand. We want to win Champions League. We don't want to be as ruthless as players. We do want to be ruthless as players with like Dybala, but we don't want to be ruthless with Khedira. I don't know, Auber. I really don't know, my friend.
We won't win the Champions League with Ronaldo, right? I'm telling you now.
Oh, I don't think so either.
We will win the Champions League, Daniel. We will win the Champions League one day when we have no superstars. We will be the Leicester of the Premiership. Least expected, no expectation, and out of nowhere, like Porto, we do it. Right? No expectation. And maybe with Pirlo, this could be it. It could be it. No expectation, right? Like
who knows?
I've had Milan fans texting me saying, "Hey, you guys are royally fucked. Good luck, enjoy it. You've had your time now. You're going to come back down to our level." And I'm thinking, you know what? I don't think we'll drop that down. No. But I don't think, because we've got our own club, we've got our own stadium, we've got our own, we're not at Milan's.
We still got the players to do enough.
But to be honest with you, I after the Lyon game, when I finished with the guys, I said, listen, guys, strap yourselves in, boys. Strap your hairy nut ball sacks in, because it's going to be one hell of a long season next season. I'm telling you now. Yeah. It's going to be awful. You're going to hear me shouting, Cuadrado this, Cuadrado that, Sarri this, Sarri that, management. What the hell is Higuain still playing? Why isn't it? But now Sarri's gone. So, and I'm not one to jump on bandwagons, right? And start saying, I already saw yesterday, even Pirlo out was trending. I'm like, what? He's not even fucking done, he hasn't got the key to open the gate yet. You guys already want him out. So, I don't know.
All I'm gonna say is this: I'm gonna support him like I started supporting Sarri. I mean, with Allegri, it was a little bit tough because I was kind of even more shocked with that appointment. But I said, you know what, I'm gonna give him his due. I did come around and say that. Conte, I mean, really, there was no expectations at that point. We were in such a shithole that really, I don't think anyone expected us at that point. But no,
do you think we're in the same boat? Do you think exactly what you just said now? Do you not think we're in the same situation we were in 2011?
we're a little bit further because of what infrastructure we have.
Yes, sorry, yes. But apart from that, but I'm talking about team
Expectation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think we have, like you said, everybody's coming for our head now. Now the blood is in the water and the sharks are circling.
Yeah.
Especially with clubs that can spend. Who's Inter gonna get? Who are they gonna move and who are they gonna bring in? Juve. Yeah, exactly.
Bunch of pillocks of a fan base. Honestly, Messi, for fuck's sake. Fuck right off, Inter. Messi. Okay. And now they're going to look to ship off Ericsson. He was supposed to be the savior of this team. Great
Honestly,
guy.
if they want to ship off Ericsson, I'll take him at Juve, to be quite honest. Fuck that. I'll take that guy.
Are you a closet Spurs fan? I'm just curious. Are you a closet Spurs fan?
No, I've always been in there. I watched him start out. Where was it? Where did he start? Just watching some games here and there of the Spurs play, and then watching like Euros with like Denmark.
Yeah, no, just you kept mentioning about Pochettino and Eric. It just sounds like you're a closet Spurs fan.
Spurs I don't like any teams in England. To be the only team I really supported in England was Leicester when they went on that run, because I wanted them to stick it to those motherfuckers.
Yeah, but the whole country was with them, apart from Liverpool and Man United.
Oh, to me, I like Atletico. That's my second, and Falcao was my star. I would have loved to have seen him at Juventus for sure. That would have been amazing, especially in his prime. Yeah. Oh, that would have been unbelievable. I think, fuck. If we had him in like the 2011, 2012, 2013 days.
Yeah, with that midfield. Yeah.
Oh my God!
I know. That's
like that. Oh my God! We would have. I guarantee we would have won.
If you look back at that squad, the midfield we had, the defense we had, not so much the strike force. You thought all we needed in one more piece was something like a Falcao, a deadly striker. And I tell you, we would have. Honestly, I think we would have dominated Champions League for a couple of seasons at least.
Oh, easy, my friend. But it didn't happen, and we're stuck with Lorente. Well, that's the thing, right? And like I said, hey, don't get me wrong; those guys did their due and they performed when they needed to. But when you needed to get to that extra level, we didn't have it up top. Let's get into this game a little bit. Again, I think there's really only about 10 moments that really stick out to me. At the beginning of the game, our target, what's his name? Auber? That guy, Auber. Basically, he had a volley outside the box, which essentially turned into them going down the field. And I mean, my friend, what do you think about that? Like the biggest bottle job of a pen I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, listen, that you're talking about the penalty, right? Yeah.
I guess Bernardeschi blew on his back, and he
listen, it's listen, when you look at it like quickly, everyone's like, oh well, that wasn't a penalty because Bentancur got the ball. He did get the ball. Listen, it's the softest penalty, but it's very soft. But he clipped his leg. He clipped his leg, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite, because if that happened to Juve and in Champions League, I will be screaming down this TV screen like no tomorrow. So he clipped his leg and he was going down, because in fact, if you didn't see that replay before Bernardeschi and you saw him when Bentancur got the ball, he's already falling down. You think, oh, he's a diver, he's diving. But then you just hit the rewind button. It's like, it's the softest penalty. But listen, we got the penalty. I don't think that was a penalty. Pjanic. No. With Memphis, that was not a penalty.
We'll get it. We'll get into that one. But obviously, Memphis scores on that. But no, to me, this is what it is. You got to be fair across the whole board. It's like Buffon said. You got to be psychologically in that moment as a ref. You got to know the outcome of what you're about to do. Okay, the outcome has to play a part, because if you see something where the guy is tapped a little bit in a contact sport. Come on, there's no way that's a penalty. Even the Madrid one with Vasquez. Yeah. The guy was falling down. The ref's in behind him, so he doesn't see that. And you see Benatia going into his back.
Yeah, but don't do that to me, please. Don't bring up world wounds. That will stop bleeding again.
Well, fair enough. But my point is, when you go to look, and now you have VAR, so now there's no excuses.
Yeah, but that's the point. That's the point.
So. A little touch here and there, you can't be calling that.
No, listen, Daniel. I wish honestly, I wish I could.
I'm not saying that's why we're out. I'm just saying
No, I know.
you
I
can't
know what
call
you're
that in
saying.
a game like that.
But look, I wish I can agree with you. But my football so-called morals is. I asked this question: if it happened to Juve, it got tapped like that, I would be screaming. So.
You would, but we don't get those.
No,
Like
I know we
that's
don't.
what kills me. We don't get them.
We never get them. We never get them. I know. We never get them. But then, you look at then you will talk about it. But then we get a penalty for the most stupidest.
Wow. And to me, that's what you call in hockey, and that's what I'm gonna call now an even up call because the ref knew he made it. The ref knew he made a mistake, and now he's forced because we're making it. Obviously, Pjanic made a
meal out of it. Yeah.
Well, he basically was shouting for the handball, but again, not like you said, 19th minute, Bernardeschi makes a run from I don't know where the fuck that came from. Fakes the keeper, walks past them, but somehow does not slot into the empty net. Unreal. I couldn't believe what I was watching. But
yeah, but that one I mentioned to you before is a man that shows that's only scored one goal in 28 games.
Exactly.
One goal.
Then 38th minute, Bentancur is just cleaned out. Like I'm talking about. I'm surprised it was only a yellow card, but just gets cleaned out by the Lyon player. And guess who's going to be taking the free kick, CR7, and again another smash against the wall. Then in the 40th minute, just 2 minutes later, we got Ronaldo getting fouled, which then Pjanic gets to step up and take that free kick. And, he hits the ball, and it kind of deflects weird, and you're kind of like, okay, that was not that great of a free kick. But you see him reacting, right? And then, the camera zooms in, and, okay, what's going on? A yellow card comes out, and you're like, okay, what the fuck just happened? They show the replay, and I could understand if Memphis had moved the arm, but it was after the ball had hit. So basically the ball comes in, it hits his elbow, and then he moves his arm back. So, okay, if it was in reverse where the arm moved back first, then the ball, I could say that's fine.
We've been subject to this with De Ligt at the beginning of the season, and I keep saying this, right? It's a really simple bloody rule. If you see the hand move towards the ball, it's a penalty. But if the guy's holding his hand to his body and the ball hits his arm, what's he supposed to bloody do? Or if he's slide tackling, put his arms behind his head like that? What's he supposed to do? So, soft, lucky.
And I think, like I said, I personally think he did it because he fucked up the first one. And he said, okay, I'm going to give him this one, even though it was BS. But anyways, Ronaldo steps up and he converts that one. And then in the 59th minute, which seemed out of nowhere, I mean, we were pushing for chances, but out of nowhere, just outside the box, and a phenomenal strike by Ronaldo.
Won the goal.
And you wonder why they call him Mr. Champions. I mean, in this game, in these certain games, he's showing up. So I'll give him the credit till the cows come home.
Yeah.
And then, later, we got our chances. Bonucci had a free header, I believe. Ronaldo had a free header.
Unforgivable that for his level of play.
Exactly. And what really pissed me off is, we got a free kick. I can't remember what minute it was. I didn't write it down, but Ronaldo was on the ball. I think it was right towards the end, maybe around the 80th minute or so. I look into the box, right? There's 4 Juve players. And there's 3 Lyon defenders. And I'm thinking, please, Ronaldo, please tell me you're seeing this. Just chip it in the box. This is a perfect opportunity. Dink it over and someone gets a head on it. Even if, let's say, there's a rebound, you have the numbers that something can happen.
Yeah.
What does he do?
Straight to the wall.
Fucking hits the wall. I'm like, as a champion, as a player who's this, calm under pressure, you got to notice these mismatches. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe because it was getting late to the end of the game and, the nerves were coming up and, we have to score this goal or else we're out. But I'm just like, dude, like, it's that simple. Like, someone would have had to have noticed that. And, we go out and that's all she wrote for us, guys.
Just also one point, just to back on that penalty on Benedeschi that he leading up to that, Higuain was fouled.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
And there's a video of the referee moving his hand to blow for the foul, and then put his hand down and let the play go on. Now, if he had called that foul, I tell you, this referee, not a single Italian team has won with this referee, and this referee got done for some sort of match fixing or something in Germany. I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck, of all teams, you have to play with us? Really?
Isn't it? You know, in the games that we need, there's always some ref that we get picked that's fucking unfavorable or something. It seems like it's every game.
That pissed me off. That pissed me off than the Bernardeschi touch, because there's actually, you can see it. His arms going up. He's about to blow, and he put his hand down and let play continue. And that pissed me off, because that changed the game. I don't think Lyon would have scored. Right? I don't think they would have scored in that game. We would have won that game 2-0.
If you're up 1-0 at that point, assuming that Ronaldo steps up and scores that penalty, now you're even Stevens. Or no, you're up. No. You're
even.
You're even Stevens. 1-1. It's going to extra time no matter what happens after. You know what I'm saying? Like if it stays that way after extra time and then pens.
Daniel, can I say something? I spoke to a very close friend of mine yesterday about this, yesterday afternoon. In a way, in a strange, perverted way, I'm glad we're up, because if we were facing Man City would embarrass us. With De Bruyne, Sterling, Aguero, the pace they have in that team, they'll rip us to pieces.
Yeah, they look good. I still think they're in a game that would be made scrappy. I think they could bottle. I truly do believe that. I'm more worried about Bayern, to be honest.
No, Bayern's gonna. This is for Bayern to lose.
I don't see. Even I think there was a possibility we get through Man City, but yeah, I don't see us beating Bayern. They're too complete of a team.
Bayern is Bayern to lose, right? Look, two teams that I think are gonna the surprise. Atletico look at easy. They've got to play that team. I don't even know.
Leipzig.
Yeah, they'll smash.
And they don't have Werner because he's going to Chelsea. So
exactly. And then they play against the winner of PSG at Atlanta. So listen, there's a final. It's going to be Atletico. And do you know that Simone has never lost? He only lost in Champions League due to Ronaldo being in the game, and now there's no more Ronaldo. So this is for Atletico to win, huh?
Well, and the last time I believe it was the last time that Atletico won the Champions League was against Bayern.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah. That was their.
I'm hoping. Listen, I don't want PSG to win the thing. I don't want
they lost to Bayern.
I don't want Barca to win. I don't want Man City to win. So I don't care if it's Bayern, and I don't care. I don't want Bayern. Actually, I would like Atletico or Atlanta.
Yeah, me too. But actually, I don't want to. You know what? I really don't want Atalanta to win, to be honest, because then we are just so much more of the joke of everybody. Yes.
Yeah,
and I said this in the WhatsApp chat that we have, and I'm like, I guarantee you Atalanta is going to win the Champions League before we are, because the way we just fuck things up, and like the perfect opportunity. You look at this year. This year would have been a perfect opportunity.
Yeah,
one game. Even with how difficult it is, the bracket that we have, like you got to be going. Like teams are not going to be like, who knows. Bayern obviously killed Chelsea, but Chelsea really hasn't looked impressive at all. It's a one-game take-all. Like you have
quarterfinals, one game, semis, one game. I mean, this, and in Portugal, you couldn't write this even more.
I know.
Portuguese, Ronaldo, fans. Classic Juve. Win something where we've got no fans to enjoy it with.
So last year we have this is 2 years in a row now, because last year Barcelona wasn't their best. Real Madrid got knocked out by Ajax. Man City got bounced by Tottenham. That was later on. But we had the opportunity to beat Ajax, go up against a team like Tottenham, and get to the finals.
Yeah.
And then play Liverpool. And I guarantee you we beat Liverpool. I guarantee. I think that team, they had the stones fall their way. And really, last year and this year are going to be the 2 years that I think we're going to be kicking ourselves over not going on to win that damn trophy. Yeah. That apparently the last one we have is in Al's house. So Hopefully, he
Yeah,
keeps that one safe.
right. Like El says, if they don't fucking bring it home, I'll bring it home myself. Fair play.
Oh man, that's hilarious. I don't think I ever laughed that much in my life because apparently him getting it off like a what was it like Craigslist or something
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the Craigslist of Canada. But
And
yeah, that's freaking hilarious. What did you think of the formation that we obviously played in this game? Were you surprised? I know for me personally, I thought Cuadrado was going to go up top on the right wing and then put Danilo in, just because you have the opportunity late in the game to drop Cuadrado back to right back to still give you that offensive, burst, and then bring Bernardeschi in. I guess you could say you could do it either vice versa if you want to start Bernardeschi and put Cuadrado on the bench. But what did you think? Obviously, no
I,
Dybala,
yeah,
no Dybala.
listen. I think the formation so much is there's not much like to play with because
Right.
where you see it's a 4-3-3 or if it's a 2-5 whatever it is, but it's a 4-3-3 with the wing backs. I don't know, but the most frustration part of that first half was the long ball bullshit to Ronaldo. This constant long ball bullshit, and Leon was pumping it back out
Yeah.
like butter, So, and this is what I was telling you about. And then when Sarri put Dybala on, it smelt of desperation, and he went off after 20 minutes. It was a
Yeah.
desperate man. He was desperate,
Yeah. And we
desperate.
and we and we needed him. We needed him. I mean, it's unfortunate with the injury being so late, but I think that would have made a hell of a lot of the difference. I think it's a completely different game if you get 100%. Well, I mean, I guess he would have started the game if he was 100% fit, right? So then we're
Yeah.
talking about something completely different. But
But this is down where I was talking about game management that Sarri hasn't done at all season. You can see pumping the ball to Ronaldo, long ball, is not working. Let's
right,
change it up. Let's change formation. Let's maybe bring the ball onto the ground. Let Benny run with the ball. Let's bring something. Let's do something. No. For whole first half, bullshit pumping ball on ball. So the formation is irrelevant because the tactic was just give the ball to Ronaldo.
yeah, exactly. And it seemed like that's what it's been. You know, even with him getting his goal scoring, that
Yeah.
the breaking the record, it seemed like that's what it's been. If you had to go, obviously we'll do our 3 up, 3 down. Who are the three worst players and three best if you have them? Doesn't need to be three. I think there's a lot of players that we could put on the worst, but best. I mean, you're looking at Ronaldo. You're looking at I think Bernardeschi was fine for the most part. Again, he had that opportunity, but he didn't take advantage of it. And I think Delict is really always on that list because he rarely puts a bad foot forward. But
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that. But like I said, it's Rabio was looking tasty coming up to the games. He was really after COVID. He
yeah,
was, it was such a shame about the Milan game where he scored that magnificent goal and got ruined by that 10 minutes of stupidity. But
right,
that game, top players. Listen, I only one for me, Ronaldo, because the way he scored that goal, the way he just tried to drive the team, and the rest were very mediocre, man. All fives, sixes at most, fives and sixes at most, if not less. It's harsh, and I think I agree with the summaries of reports after that. Ronaldo 8, and the rest fives and sixes, man, fives and sixes.
yeah, yeah.
Even
I think
Teka with that penalty. I mean, I know you with the keeper the penalty, you need to stick and decide with which way you want to go. But geez, why he was waiting and waiting? Couldn't he do it? Because he did a Pirlo. He did a Pirlo. He did a
yep,
little chip.
exactly. How ironic is that?
Yeah. Well, fuck yeah. Now thinking about it, yes, that's true. That's true. But and then the coach, I give him a 4.5, if not 3, because game management was not there at all yet again. Yet
Yeah.
again. It doesn't matter. He's gone now. Doesn't matter now.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's pretty much done and dusted. Now we got to move on to this new era, if you want to call it.
Mm.
Again, there's still a lot. Like the funny thing is, everyone was shocked about the Pirlo, the coaching signing, right? But I was still like, well, there's still a shit ton to do. Like this
Yeah.
isn't it. Like
Yeah.
we have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of stuff that needs to change.
Well, we talked about this conversation that Peter probably had with Agnelli over dinner over a nice glass of red Rothschilds, right?
Yeah.
1922, right? That cost £25,000 a sip. Do you not think And then he said, listen, you're going to be Mr. next, but this is the team. So do you not think Pirlo, and I want to see what bullshit excuse people are going to say, well, Pirlo didn't have the players he wanted, he didn't have the time and blah. Well, hold on. He sat down and he looked at this team and he knows what he needs. The comments about what Ronaldo needs, right? He needs service. Okay, fine. Right. Okay, that's good words, right? He said to this famous Instagram interview he had with Cannavaro over the COVID period, he likes a 4-3-3 formation attacking football. But we're playing that already 4-3-3 and it ain't working. So I'm at lost. I'm at lost. What is it?
Well, that's the thing. Who's coming in and who's not, and I don't have faith that anyone is coming in. And
well, to your point about the salaries and the buys, I don't think people are naive to think, oh yeah, now Mbappe's going to come, Tonelli's going to come, this is going to come, that going to come, Zanola's going to come out.
They're already pumping it as the press is already writing it as we speak. Pirlo wants Zaniolo and Tonali. That's the first thing I read when I got on the.
We've got 100 mil to drop already. We've got 100 million to drop already.
Well, that's the thing, and it's like, well, they didn't do it for Saturday, so what do you expect now? Even after COVID, no revenue coming in for tickets. Where do you think they're getting this money from? Or are we doing the same? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense to have a big mercato right now, to be honest.
You know what it's going to be, Dan? It's going to be typical Juve. We're going to stop picking up players we've never heard of, players that come from Genova or from Udinese, you mentioned before.
You're going to get Hernandez.
Yeah, well, exactly. Some random ping pong player that we've never heard of, or we've heard of, but we didn't think, well, really? Is that the play we need now? So that's what's going to happen. Listen, mark my words, Pellegrini, he's off. Yeah, I like him to stay, but he's off. So now we still need a left back. Right back, I'm telling you now, right back, they're not going to even touch it. We've got Danilo, Sticilio, and we've got Quadrado. That's how they're going to see it. They don't think it's a problem. Right, let's get Milik, fucking injury prone all the time. Let's get him on board. He came last night on Napoli-Barcelona, did fuck all, man. No impact player.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and what do you think about the, what was it? The, obviously him not having any impact, but what do you think about De Ligt now? All of a sudden, he's going to have to get his shoulder surgery.
Yeah, he's out till October. So
exactly. So now that introduces another. Okay, well, we have Demiral is probably going to be thrown in there, but with the comments that Bonucci made, are we getting rid of Bonucci?
Oh man, listen. Look, we've had this conversation. That's how we do it, right? That's what I suggest. Unsellable to me.
Okay.
When I mean unsellable, I mean no way. Stupid money. Nothing. Dybala, De Ligt, and Bentancur, and Demiral. Okay, those four. Everyone else is fair game. Now, I'm not saying technically. I'm not saying Bonucci is unsellable, but we should keep him. But on the bench. On the bench. No more. I call him the twerk merchant now.
He's probably going to be more than on the bench if De Ligt is gone and Chiellini is in 100%, right?
Well, but listen, the twerk merchant can stay on the bench, and we can have Demiral and Chiellini. Chiellini will be back, so we'll have Chiellini and Demiral in, and De Ligt comes back.
I hope.
Yeah, Chiellini will be back. So twerk merchant can sit his ass on the bench and shut his mouth and never, ever wear the arm captain ban again. To say that the objective was met because we won the Serie A, you can shut your damn gob mouth, you stupid man. Honestly.
Well, We'll get into that. So, who do you? Okay, we'll get into these season awards, our own season awards. So again, you said De Ligt was obviously the player of the season for you, correct?
Yeah.
For me, it was Dybala. Worst player of the season.
Oh, there's a lot there. There's a lot.
Khedira.
Well, yeah, but Khedira never played, so that's a bit harsh, isn't it? Don't you think? He never played, so.
That to me shows even more that he was the worst.
I think Pjanic didn't after those 2 goals he scored at the beginning of the season, those 2 rockets of a goal, disappeared. When we needed him the most, he disappeared completely.
I think Pjanic. It's a tough argument because you got to look at the way we played, right? The way we set up. And like you said, Sarri wasn't a coach that was going to adapt. So when teams pressed us hard and pushed Pjanic back up to the center half, really we had no choice but for, you know what I mean? He's going to be putting the ball left and right.
Yellow card, lateral passing, backward passing. None of that. I through the needle passing, visionary passing, like a Pirlo type passing, forward thinking. No,
So
I think it was.
I think it was tough because we didn't really put him in his best position. And I know you could argue, okay, well he didn't give. I mean, like I said, I've wanted Pjanic out for like 2 years now, so I'm actually surprised that I'm coming to a little bit of his defense. But I think tactically there could have been work done to get him closer to goal. But to be honest, yeah, I would agree with that. Who was your most improved? I mean, De Ligt is pretty obvious, but for me,
most improved. That's a good question actually. I Bentancur.
Bentancur, okay.
Because Bentancur last season had a big part role in everything, right? But this season he had to step up his game. And I thought he stepped up, eloquently. He has to curb his stupid temper, his Latino temper, and really calm that aspect. And we were seeing that in the Lyon game. But I think he did really well, this season. He stepped up big time.
Yeah. How about player that surprised you? If most improved is kind of a similar question. But...
Surprised me, yeah. I think, I don't... Definitely one in the midfield, that's for sure. And definitely not Cuadrado. I'll be honest with you. I know this is going to sound strange, but Dybala.
Oh, okay.
Because of the summer antics, right? And because what was happening, that was easy. That's easy to derail a player. But he surprised me because he did an FU to the entire football management team of Juventus. He said, "Fuck you! I'm going to show you what you're gonna. This is what you're missing." And he took them. He surprised me because he was. Obviously, I know people talking about Ronaldo coming on. He's not scoring as many goals, Dybala, but I think he's more about the game. Like you're saying, watch the game, right? Yeah. Watch what he does off the ball, with the ball, not so much about the end product. And he surprised me, to be honest. He surprised me.
For me, I think Demiral was. I didn't think he was going to be as useful as what he was.
But the thing is, he got injured, though. That's the problem.
He did, but did you think he was going to step in the way he did? I didn't.
No, but
like I know he did well at Sassuolo.
The reason why I ruled out Demiral is because of that horrendous injury at Roma. That's the only reason. But if he had carried on, I think he would have been by far, even probably the MVP as well for me, for Juve, if he had continued. I mean, when he came back, who was it against? Roma.
Yeah.
And he that last ditch toe tackle. That was like fucking brilliant, Demiral. Brilliant. This is what we want. Regani face. Piece of flower pot tinker of a dickhead should never put our jersey back on. He would never do that. And I'm sick and tired of this Italian potential. He's now, 27? I mean, when are you going to give up on this guy? Enough. Anyway. But yeah, to me, it was Dybala because of all the antics that happened before the season. He could throw the toys at the pram,
Yeah. Best signing, I mean, pretty easy. De Ligt.
Yeah.
Worst signing? Who do you think was our worst pickup this year?
Oh, it's going to be, because
Ramsey is unfair. It's
unfair. It's unfair to say Ramsey because he came in, but Rabiot's unfair because Rabiot didn't play a lot of football at PSG and he was rusty and he had to take time. And after COVID, man, he looks tasty, man. So just for the sake of this question, I with a heavy heart with Ramsey, but
yeah, I'd have to say the same, just because
that's a heavy
just
heart,
because how much time he's missed and really not being able to.
I told you he hasn't played a full 90 with Sarri yet, huh?
How about your goal of the season?
Oh man,
I think for me it's got to be Dybala against Atletico.
Yeah.
Like I don't like scoring on an angle like that.
Yes, that's a swing,
unreal.
But me, it's against Merda with Dybala, when he overturned the defender and just smashed the ball in. I thought, I love it.
It's tough because sometimes meaning means like the
yes.
meaning of a goal also adds to it. So I definitely agree with
you. But yes, as a wonder goal, that Dybala goal was sensational.
I couldn't believe you put that one. I was just like, fuck me, did that go in the net?
We were so lucky that we had a fan literally standing with the camera with his phone there because that was brilliant.
Yeah, sometimes it just works out perfectly. But let's get into post-match comments because I think there's a lot of controversy and some interesting takes to say the least. Before we wrap up the show here with a couple fan questions. you look at what Sarri dropped, and we've mentioned a few of these already. We had a great game. We gave everything, and we tried everything. We believed it until the end. We regret the first half in the first leg. We were disappointed, but nothing to say about the performance this evening. Expected more? I expected less, to be honest. We played a great game. If I weren't devastated by the exit, I would be delighted with the performance. I don't know where he gets these fucking one-liners.
I don't know. This is the problem, right? This guy needs to be wherever club he's going to join. If it's going to be Roma, wherever he's going to join, he needs to get a media team around him because he's fucking unsurprised. Because his background is finance. You think it's someone who's a bit astute with their words, the way they talk. A bit more cultured. He's a schmuck, man. Absolute. I don't know what game he was watching.
So then he goes on to say, in the Champions League, we won 6, drew 1, and lost 1. If there was a
Jesus, I know.
If there was a normal ranking, maybe we would be first, but unfortunately, this is the regulation.
Yeah. Well, if we could score an extra goal and we beat Man City, we could win the Champions League. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know. That's just donkey shit talk, man.
Obviously, then they talked, like you said, about his contract. He says, "What do you want me to answer?" I find that offensive. Obviously, which can you have to ask the management. He also said he'd respect his contract. We lost this tie at Lyon. Sure, the referee was not at the level it should be.
Well, that's bullshit because at Lyon we didn't have a shot on target. So don't blame the referee. Blame yourself that you didn't manage to get the team to get the fucking score a goal. We lost.
Yeah.
We lost this game at Lyon. We didn't lose the game last night. We lost this at Lyon.
Clearly,
it's a horrendous game. Well, it was probably one of the worst game of our season, I think. Apart from Milan and apart from Sassuolo, apart from Lazio, it's twice 3-1 drummings. Oh gosh, but that was the worst. That was the worst.
And then we get into Paratici because he had some things to say, obviously before and on the day of the sacking. Sarri is right. Judgments are never taken based on one match. Sarri staying, sure, but now let's focus on this game. Everything else is in the background at the moment. Ronaldo's feeling good and better than usual because tonight it's his competition. I would like to remind you that tonight Juventus has been the Italian champion for 3,000 days. That's something extraordinary. Some people forget quickly. Where do they come up with this? Honestly, I wish I could see. In Canada, I don't have. I'm looking to get the different channels, right? The Sky Italia, Mediaset.
I'm going to do a plug right now. Shameless little plug for you, right? For us. Juventus, if any of you bloody admin people, Juventus EN, are watching this bloody podcast, for God's sake, get someone who's media savvy, English-speaking media savvy, because your stupid slogans of stronger, wonderful, and the shit you give to your management to say to the press is dog shite, right? And your Twitter memes and your Twitter responses, how can you, listen, Dan, how on earth did Juventus congratulate Lyon? Well done. Well done. I mean, what? And listen, I never get into politics and religion with sports, but not a single word about what happened in Beirut. But yet you want to say other bollocks and other shit. Listen, if Juventus have been watching, I've got a job. But if you want someone who's fucking savvy with their words, come to me. That's my shameless plug. Come to me. We'll sort this media out once and for all.
No, it's true. It's terrible, man.
Awful.
Unbelievable the decisions they make at the top or at any level to what they want to direction they want to go. It's such a shambles. They'll go one way and then they'll go back on that and then they'll defend Ronaldo and then they'll congratulate Liverpool and then they'll say good job to Lyon and they won't talk about any events in the and I mean that's fine. If you don't want to get political, that's totally fine. I could understand that, but even I hope the people are doing fine or this or that. It really does not.
One of the great Twitter persons, Gert Dybala, she's from Lebanon, right? And they fly out to watch Turin games, right? Not all the time, but they fly, but they spend a hell of a lot of money. Fucking give some credit, and especially in the Middle East, there's got a big Juventus supporter following. North Africa, Middle East, they've got a big Juve supporter following. Just show some respect for Christ's sake, man. Honestly, but anyway, I'm not getting it just pisses me off, winds me up. Whoever that media merchant is, sort your shit out, honestly. And another thing, I'm sick and tired of seeing Bonucci every game. we get stronger. We understand. We will get better. We will group together. Shut your goddamn mouth, Panchina. Honestly, you're better off saying nothing at all than saying that bullshit every time you lose a game or draw a stupid game.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Obviously, then he talked on the Sarri sacking day, as I call it. Pirlo decision was very natural, very Juventus. We also think about the fact that he can be predestined. He was as a footballer. We firmly believe that he can also be a coach. Sarri, we had already made assessments before Lyon. It is not a match that decides the fate of a coach. The choice is the result of the entire season. We are in uncharted territory. No one has had a cycle like ours. We made 2 Champions League finals with about 7 changes. Real won them by making only 1, an incredible cycle. People are often much more important than the professional. Professionals can be trained, people not. They always try and get like psychological. It's just like, you know what? Just say it how it is.
Listen, that guy had
Parazzi kills me. Just say we fucked up. We made some stupid decisions. And we're gonna fucking rectify it. Like that's all you gotta say.
The guy had a 2-barrel Sawn shotgun at the back of his head to say all this bullshit. Because I tell you, he was on his way out as well, right?
Oh,
yeah. But he's staying.
It was said. Certain accounts had told me that no, they were 100% certain that there's gonna be a complete rearrangement with the club, and I mean. Sarri's gone, yeah, but I think Paratici, I think he saved himself because of what Agnelli's going to talk about in the next part. Just to finish up, last year, or the Champions League is a competition linked to moments. Last year we went out with Ajax, but we had important injuries. Okay, sure. Roma, I've been here for 10 years, and I'm feeling good. I have a great relation with others and with Agnelli. Pirlo wants to propose a game of a certain type, the one that European teams try to follow. Is his idea. We followed what he told us. He was convincing. People are more important than the profession. So they're already buying into something that, like I said, they're buying into a dream, a pipe dream that I think is gonna fucking backfire. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Then we get on to Agnelli. We might start again. Obviously, this was after the game. We must start again with renewed enthusiasm, without taking for granted what is happening in Italy. It's a bittersweet season, a very difficult season. Great result for the Knights Scudetto. Great page written by Maurizio for him as a coach. Disappointing Champions League. We will take a few days to make assessments. So again, we're repeating what I said earlier. He also did say that Sarri will stay after the game. Ronaldo will be part of our future. I'm convinced by that because he's a pillar of this team. And then he goes on to defend, the management. Nobody from management will leave. Paratici, Cherubini, and Nedved are doing an amazing job. I'm happy. Will we get players suited to Sarri? That's a question for the technical area. They will certainly be Juventus players. The Champions League was a dream, must be an objective. I don't know, must have been a horrible translation there, but so I'm guessing he's saying
it wasn't an objective for us apparently this season. It was just nice to have, dream to have if you did it.
Just at the beginning of the year, it always is, and then we come out and say, no, it was never an objective. We hoped it was, but
everyone knows it's an obsession. Don't bullshit your own fans, man. It's an obsession.
But what kills me is like even when Allegri was here, they would clearly come out and say this is the objective now is Europe, and it's like. Why come out and fucking say that when you're not gonna buy into that dream?
To me, European football, the ultimate glory is Champions League. Forget about all the rest. Ultimate glory, Champions League. End of.
So, and then he continues. The balance is made with the staff and coach. A season is made up of several goals. We have to consider how to get back to playing with enthusiasm. I often hear that we have one of the oldest squads. For example, this is an element. Just some comments from Nedved. Before the game, he also said that they would judge players and coaches for what happened during the season, not during one game. Then we get into your favorite player, Bonucci. It was a special season after everything that happened, coronavirus. We managed to win the Scudetto, and that was the main goal. This season will teach us a lot.
Piece of shit. Honestly, when I read that, I thought to myself, you know what? Shut your goddamn mouth. Honestly.
What else did he say? He said, tonight we showed that we have good we have good passing. We pushed for 90 minutes. They had one shot on goal, and it was a goal. With the Scudetto, we have hit our goal, but this season, I guess it was maybe taken more from the actual translation, but pretty much the same thing. Pjanic, he actually had a lot to say.
Yeah, but he said a lot of stuff about the club, the fans. It was his goodbye speech, wasn't it? So it was like
and he
his
got pretty
farewell speech.
emotional. He got pretty emotional on TV. He said it was a big disappointment for us. We had everything in hand. We missed. Obviously, if you guys haven't heard this, I'd like to read it out. We failed, and that is difficult to accept. This club can aspire to do much more. The past years have shown it. The last few months have not gone as I thought. The way Napoli played, a type of different football, I think it takes time, but this squad can win everything. Bonucci said that the Scudetto is the main target, but this team needs to aim higher. Lyon is a team that we have to beat. I have to thank the Juve world. It's not easy to leave this club. We're all fine, the family, me, this city. I learned a lot at this great club, and it's not easy. I'm sorry for what happened today. I tried to give my all in these years. I'm sorry I wasn't able to greet the fans. I'll definitely follow this team, this club forever. He also mentioned his son. In a few years, I'll come back here with my son to support this team because it really has remained in my heart. So just some nice things to say, and I hope we meet again. As I said, my son is a huge Juventus fan and also very attached to the fans, and I hope to see you soon. So it's kind of bittersweet for him to go out on this note. I think we all expected him to be a little bit better for us, but it was nice to see the things he said. I mean, even though on a sour note of losing. De Ligt was saying that he felt sick. Juventus are superior to Lyon. At least that's what I think, and we deserved it. We have a strong team. And this is not what we wanted. Now I'll focus on getting fit as soon as possible. I'll get surgery, and it'll take some time to fully recover. Exactly. I mean,
this is the kind of stuff you need to hear from a press conference. That made me sick, disgusted, disappointed. This is stuff that it resonates. Because this resonates with the fans, I'm not saying you have to self-deprecate and self-harm yourself and say, oh, with this shit, with that. But like Bonucci, look at the contrast.
Yeah.
The guy is 20. Bonucci is in his early 30s. Bonucci's got a lot more experience, and yet he talks like he's a 14-year-old kid playing FIFA. And De Ligt is like a seasoned, Koeman, Ronald Koeman, seasoned. He's only 20, for Christ's sake. Between us, I hope we generally keep this guy for a long time. I hope we keep him for a long time. We'll sell him eventually because he would want to have a new adventure, new chapter. It's understandable. But I hope we keep him for a long time because he's our future captain, I think. I'm a huge De Ligt fan. Huge De Ligt fan.
Yeah, me as well. I think he's proven everyone wrong that kind of has gone against him and really has shown such maturity even after all the those handballs
exactly.
and kind of the kind of a little bit tricky period that we had at the beginning of the season. He didn't really go into a shell and kind of say woe is me, and he just kind of came out and showed the class that he has, and it's great to see, man. It's really great to see.
Hence why he's my MVP.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, again, like you said with Pirlo, he said after the loss against Ajax that we lack quality in the midfield. They bought Cristiano, and they didn't know how to get him the ball. He also has been quoted as saying that he thinks we need Isco. They're on another level, but you have to win the Champions League. I mean, the midfield's been a big problem. Pretty simple. Del Piero after the game. I haven't seen a Juve that was superior to Lyon physically or in terms of playing style. The main objective in view of the investments made was the Champions League. I agree 100%. Yeah. And then he talked about the Pirlo sign. I would not have bet €1 on the arrival of Pirlo. I wish him the best. He has extraordinary intelligence. Interesting statement that was put out by the club, though. Today's choice is based on the belief that Pirlo has what it takes to lead from his debut on the bench, an expert and talented squad to pursue new successes. So it's like, it's leading into this thing, Auber. It's leading into this.
Well, look, Dan,
he's got to take this squad to the success, and that's.
Do you know he's going to be very busy the next few weeks? He's not going on holiday. Is Paratici. Ticci, he needs to get his arse in gear and start selling those players, Matuidi, whatever, Khedira. These players, we need to start seeing on our Twitter feed tomorrow morning. Khedira linked back to Germany, Matuidi fucking off to France or America, wherever he's going, right? We need to start seeing this and then multiple sources coming out, and we start seeing these players getting shipped out. And if we start liberating our wage bill, and even if we get nominal fees for these guys, like 5 years, 6 years, I don't give a shit, but we're living the wages off, and then we buy, and we get 3 quality players, not world-class quality players, then listen, there is hope. But if I'm telling you now, I'm going to say it right now. If we're going to have the same squad today, we're going to start on the 19th of September with the same squad, apart from Kulusevski and Artur, with Pirlo. I'm telling you now, Tifosi, strap in your bollocks. 0 trophies, 0 expectation, fuck all win. And I don't want to hear anyone saying, oh, but Pirlo this, Pirlo time, Pirlo this, Pirlo that, unlucky, tired, too many games. Please.
No, I agree.
If it's the same team, if we can see a complete shift and you can see some key players coming in, vabbè, we'll see. Reserve judgment.
Yep. Obviously the 4-3-3 has been talked about. He said he likes great ball possession, but it depends on the players. Monblano with some comments. Apparently they tried for the Zidane. I think that would have been too difficult, even if they did. I don't think he's moving out of that situation. And apparently he said no to all the names proposed by Paratici. So, like you said, he was the one that chose Pirlo. And apparently there was a clause in Sarri's contract for 5.5 million.
Saw that.
But then I've also read that we owe about like 20. Or we lost about 20 in Champions League, but we lost about 20 from Sarri's contract. So I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to see what the verdict is. But what's true or not?
There was a picture of the Man City, Real Madrid, where you got Pep sitting on an icebox and Zidane standing there. And I can imagine the conversation. Did you get the call from Agnelli this morning? Yes. What do you reckon? You gonna go first or shall I go first? No. I'm sticking to Madrid. I'll probably stick to Man City. Thanks very much. Yeah, we'll stay where we are for now. It's a shit goal. It's a shit storm at the moment, Juventus. I'll come back later.
Exactly.
That's how the conversation went.
So, next season, we're going to have Andrea Pirlo on the bench. 4-3-3 is probably going to be the formation. Again, 0 expectations, 0 trophies. Who do you need? Who do you want to bring in? Let's just get it up. Pull the back. Who do we need to... I know you said we need a number 9 and we need the fullbacks depth, but who do you like to see? We've talked about who we need to get rid of, and we've talked about Sarri getting sacked. But who needs to come in?
Yes, he has one for the books. The Milan Christmas tree comes back. Can you imagine? The Milan Christmas tree comes back, and we win Champions League with the Christmas tree. Anyway, back to reality. I'm not quite about it. I'm quite a strong advocate about it. Icardi, for me, he's a proven goal scorer. I don't want Milik. I don't give a shit what people talk about Milik. He's good with his left foot, but listen, he's more in the J Medical Stadium than he's in there. We definitely need a number 9. Now, remember, this is, talk about what players want. I'm not going to go like these young ones and do FIFA here, right? Because we need to be realistic. I do think Icardi is realistic. I think we can get him. Cavani is a free agent.
Yep.
He's a free agent. If it's a short stopgap, well, we're doing it with Pirlo. Why not with him then? Cavani. But listen, it's hard, Daniel. I look at the fullbacks. Okay.
Yep.
You can name the ones that we have, but I'm telling you, right backs, they're not going to cover anyone. Left back, they might keep Pellegrini, but they'll sell him off. So they might get some random left back from, I don't know, from Bologna. I genuinely don't know, Daniel. I really listen. Of course, I'd love to have Tonali from Brescia. I'd love to have Zaniolo. I'd love to have that running play towards it. I'd love that. And then have Tonali, Bentancur, Zaniolo, and Artur, and a bit of playing with Kulusevski and Dybala and Ronaldo. Yeah, of course, I'd love that. But it's not happening. So I don't know. But honestly, I don't know.
How about Paratici? Should he stay? Should he go?
No, well, listen, his time's up. His time's up. He can take all the credit he wants for Ronaldo and De Ligt, but his time's up. He's tied us into so many contracts with these extensions, which is far more damning to the club than to the actual good of the club. So his time is up. His cycle needs to go. I don't know. He's learned from Morata, but I think his time is up. I think his time. But he's going to be here for another season. But that's it.
And then the last thing for the next season, should Agnelli move to another position? Should we get a new face as president?
You see, we're coming towards an end of a podcast which is nearly 3 hours, right? Oh, well, we talked for half an hour. This
just simply
no
gut feeling. Give me a gut feeling. Yes or no?
No. And I know you're against this, but what he's done for the club in the last 10 years, with the hotel, with the stadium, with the amount of things he's done for the club, guys, he's delivered 9 titles. It's never been done before. Never, ever.
The titles were delivered on the pitch.
Yes, but you needed. Listen, you want to talk about Granda? You want to talk about Stevens? You want to talk about Alken? All these plunkers who did fuck all for the club? Come on.
I think a lot of the problems are his stubbornness, and that's why he becomes.
You mentioned about that analogy about the rotting of the fish's head starts at the head and goes down towards the bottom. Danny, let's talk about this on another podcast.
We'll talk about another podcast because we'll be here all day.
You and I, you've touched on a live wire that both of us are completely on opposite sides on this one.
Fair enough. Let's go into our last couple questions from James Martino. What current player will improve the most under Pirlo?
Ronaldo's free kicks.
That's a fucking good one. That's a good one, man. That's a good one.
And I'm serious.
Hey, there you go. I think for me, who's gonna be? I think the midfield's gonna,
of course,
obviously, positionally or hopefully in the right spots, and know what kind of football we need. I think that's the problem. I think Sarri's words were just not getting through, and you need kind of a presence to say, no, this is the way we want to play. I think if you got like a coach like Zidane wanting to play the exact same way as Sarri does, I guarantee you the team will look a lot better under Zidane because they have that, that's someone to look up to as a team, and really take his words with meaning. And you look at Sarri, and again, I don't think the players took anything he said with meaning, even though I think a lot of the stuff that he was trying to implement was interesting. I think it could have worked. I just think the players they weren't having it.
Watch Pirlo play Bonucci in the midfield, as a regista. You'll see.
We'll see. We will see, my friend. It's all to come in a month's time. Obviously, from Nilesh, last question before we wrap her up. Not taking into account his reputation, can he bear the pressure of that job? Or simply he has no experience in Europe coaching? Will he be able to grind out results? And for a team that is dreaming for UCL since decades, I don't know. Like you said, you got zero expectations, but like in terms of I think this team for the most part should be in the running. We have the players, and you're adding a guy like Artur, and you're adding a guy like Kulusevski. If that even who knows? Maybe Kulusevski is even sold. Wouldn't shock me. Would not shock me at all.
Swallow.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think the team, if you think about it, right, and that sounds strange because you need a manager, but I think this team is self-managed, and I think they've self-managed this whole fucking season, to be honest with you. I've seen it. It was evident against the Lyon game. It's evident in the other games. Ronaldo pumping, G'ing up the players because Sarri wasn't doing that job. I genuinely think I nearly said to Pirlo, listen, you're going to become Mister. All I want you to do is deliver me the Serie A title. Don't worry about Champions League. Don't worry about Copas. Just deliver me the 10th title. That's all I ask of you. The team can self-manage. Just get the right players. Put your arms around them. Galvanize the team. And let's win the Serie A. Champions League's a bonus. I genuinely believe that's a bonus next year. But, like I said to my previous point, I've got zero expectation. Zero.
Okay, boss. So let's just get this thing wrapped up. Obviously, I want to hear from you. The floor is going to be yours. Give us your best. Obviously, being at the stadium. I know you've told me you haven't been to the new stadium, but get us pumped up for this new season. And I've heard that there's possibility of some fans going back to the stadium. So give us your best moment, at the Del Alpi or at the Olimpico, like kind of the emotions surrounding the match day, where you stayed, the atmosphere, maybe the game that you went to, and either
Look,
being abroad or wherever.
yeah, I listen. There was. I was fortunate enough when I was younger to go to a lot of the games as a kid. At Del Alpi. I think we touched upon this, right? It's the falling of love of football, right? The stadium I see today, when I see Maurizio from around Turin, the way it describes the stadium as it is now, beautiful stadium, but the atmosphere's gone flat.
Yeah.
I miss the whole era of going in the bandanas. Listen. I'm not associated with any ultras or anything like that, but seeing the bandanas, the drogi, the Vikings, seeing all these guys with these big bandanas, and then they're singing and they're chanting and the megaphones, and this was, it was special. It felt like you were part of something, part of history in a way, because it is become history now, because you don't see that. There was a program in England called Football Italia, which was Go Lazio by Mr. Dave Richardson, who's now facing BT Sport, and the pan out when you see the Sampdoria games, the Lanterna Derby or the Madonna Derby, all these stadiums, it was electrifying. And when you see the players that were playing, it wasn't like the football. And I sound like an old man now, but the football now, you talked about Benedeschi touching a player and he looked like he got shot in the face. The old days, guys were going in stud tackles in. Now, they were dangerous, some of them, fair enough, but they were hard tackles. Get up and roll and play with the game. Yeah. And then you talk about moments. Listen, there was many moments. I mean, one of my favorite moments was actually not at the stadium. Was actually at San Siro when we beat Milan with Trezeguet and Del Piero goal. I was there. I witnessed that game. That game when we wrapped up the. For me, that was a special day. I mean, Del Piero going to the byline, crossing into the Trezeguet nodding the ball into the goal at San Siro. It was something like a boy in a candy shop. And also that same day, my best mate's car got stolen. So a brand new Alfa got stolen. So that was one to remember. Not mine. It was his. He was driving. So, but my point is, I can't. I'll be honest with you, man. There are too many moments, and if you speak to any of the guys from the '90s. There's just too many moments. I remember, not at the stadium, going to Bologna to watch Pepe Signori playing, scoring goals, or going to Fiorentina, La Viola, and watching Batti goal, Gabriel Battistini looked like Jesus Christ himself playing football, It was just, Ria Costa for Milan, all these players, it just brings it brings a lot of emotions, but it brings me emotions of the days where I was watching Parma at the pinnacle of football. Veron, Ortega, Crespo, Chiesa, Buffon, Thuram, Cannavaro. I mean, come on. I mean, these are players that we all now know, but they weren't then, It was... Yep. And we were fortunate. Now it's just, I'm sad to see it gone sterile, and I'm looking forward to go to the new stadium. Don't get me wrong. I think some of us are thinking to go as a group from the UK to go watch the game in Torino, but what I've seen, the feedback right now, it's sterile. It's sterile. It's like having prawn sandwiches and watching the game. It's corporate. Corporate experience.
Well, and we've even talked about lots about even the certain sponsors not really catering to any of the actual fans, and some incidents that have happened online. And then you look at the past 2 seasons, and I don't know about you, but the last Allegri season was really the season that I was really bored and really just like I was so out of it.
Yeah, you fall asleep during the game.
Well, and even to the point where I came back from work, I finished watching this game, and I was like, I sit and we lose, or we win the game, but we're knocked out. And usually, you start getting a little bit emotional and whatnot. You know what? I sat there. I was like, yep, we would fuck this up. Was just like laughed a little bit and was like, okay. That's it. No real emotion. I was like, I expected it. I mean, I had faith in the team, but it was like, I'm not surprised. And oh well, I just that's why when we get into the brand and the corporate and that's what, to me, it takes away that emotion that you perfectly put in your with your talk there about the past. And I think you're right. we're never going to get back to that moment. This is the new. This is what it is. But it's just sad, and that's why I like to bring it up, and that's why I like to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, let me know when you guys are gonna go. Fuck, I want to come.
Yeah, no, we definitely we are. Well, and that's back to the point. Hopefully, the Juventus Biglietti system is actually with Juventus and not Ticket One. Because if it isn't, then if this is with them, we can sort it out. Because we're definitely keen to go as a group, and I definitely want to have a visit to one of those stars, the one that starts with Conte star. I want to like to have a little look at that star.
There's no tools allowed into the stadium, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, Albert, I appreciate you coming on. I know we had a lot to cover. I know it's been a long podcast.
Yeah, good luck at editing this one.
Oh, this will be peanuts for me. But because you've been so great, and you've had there's been no stops and a lot to say, and thankfully we've made this work. I can't believe I fucked it up the first time, but we got it. We got it settled.
Recording.
We got it settled. It's still recording, guys. And again, please follow him at Juventus for Life _ he's got a lot of takes, and even before the games, after the games, he's posting stats. He's posting, different narratives about the story. Check him out, and obviously on La Panchina, he's going to be on there for years to come until they drag him out of there. Until he loses his voice and he can't scream anymore and he can't say anything.
I've lost a ball sack or some sort.
There you go. So as long as he's got his balls left, we're all good. We're gonna see him on La Panchina. But again, Auber, thank you so much,
thanks, Daniel. Thanks for having me.
As usual, at Juventinita DAL, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Google Podcast, Instagram, Twitter. Check it out. And we're gonna have a couple just guests talking about the end of the season. I think coming up in the next weeks. This is gonna the end of it for here, and then we're gonna get into the next season. We're gonna do some season previews and talk about the next season. See what happens with the transfers in a couple weeks. But yeah, guys, stay tuned. And as always, Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus.
Forza
Ciao,
Juventus.
guys. Thank you.